prepared for the challenges that are ahead. I graduated high school at GCC when we could learn a trade and even prepare for college. Our students deserve schools that are safe and books and resources that help prepare them for their future.
A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will rebuild Simon Sanchez, fix our schools, integrate technology in the classroom, and expand access to trades. I'm in to help get us there, and we humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer. Ad count.
The white suspect charged in the shooting death of an unarmed black man in Florida makes his first court appearance in a case renewing scrutiny of the state's Stand Your Ground law.
Michael Draka appeared via video link for his initial hearing and now has his bond set.
Sir, you're charged with manslaughter with a firearm. The bond amount is $100,000.
Draka shot Marquise McLaughlin at a convenience store after an apparent parking dispute. Draka was not charged at first by the Pinellas County Sheriff, citing the Florida law allowing use of force to defend oneself. The victim's girlfriend, Brittany Jacobs, says she still has yet to explain to McLaughlin's kids what's happened. A trial has not yet been scheduled. McLaughlin's family expects a lengthy process. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
In Baltimore, late word that a police officer caught on video punching a man in a street confrontation has now been indicted on an assault charge. Cars lining up to enter Yosemite National Park as tourists return nearly 3 weeks after the park's famed valley was closed because of smoke from a nearby wildfire. Florida tourism taking a hit from contaminated water.
Forget the blue or red wave in November. In Florida, all they can think about now is the red and green tides. Toxic red tide in the Gulf, the worst outbreak in a decade, killing an estimated 300 tons of fish, sharks, sea turtles, and manatees, and fouling the air, leading to breathing problems and emptying the beaches and resort hotels from Fort Myers to Sarasota. Then there is the green algae on both coasts. Fed by fertilizer and other agricultural runoff, it has coated canals with a layer of green, one man calling it an ocean of kale smoothie. Unfortunately, it smells more like cesspool than smoothie. Local officials struggling to clean up dead marine life and vacuum off the green scum.
Fox Business Network's Jeff Flock in North Fort Myers. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Kohler Power Systems are available for rent from Morico Equipment in Tamuning. 50 to 500 kilowatt Kohler diesel generators on trailers or on the ground. Call Roland at Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com. Kohler Power Systems are made for Guam conditions. Aluminum, weatherproof, and soundproof enclosures for Guam's tropical climate. Kohler generators can run all day with the correct size fuel tank. Call Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. This Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 4 Taiwanese women who came to Guam on tourist visas are now facing allegations of visa fraud after they were found working as hostesses at a Tamuning lounge. Yushin Chang, Yi Ying Lin, Chow En Wang, and Yi Jung Ko came to Guam in June and July of this year as tourists under the Visa Waiver Program. A criminal complaint filed in Guam's district court accuses the women of failing to disclose that they intended to work as hostesses at the Wild Orchid Tavern. According to court documents, an undercover agent with Homeland Security brought drinks from the women, paying $20 for each drink. The women completed an online visa application saying that they were not seeking employment when they arrived on island. They're scheduled to make an initial appearance today in the district court. Guam Police Department officer is behind bars after he was accused of driving under the influence when he crashed an official vehicle, resulting in multiple injuries. 52-year-old officer Dennis Santos was arrested yesterday on allegations that he was driving while impaired with a child on board, causing injuries, disobeying a red light, failure to wear a seatbelt, and official misconduct. Officer Santos was off duty at the time he crashed an official police vehicle into another car just after midnight on July 4th on Marine Corps Drive near the Kmart. He was hospitalized for his injuries, and the occupants of the other vehicle also sustained injuries that resulted in hospitalization. Police have not disclosed Santos's blood alcohol content at the time of the crash. An internal affairs investigation of the incident is still ongoing. We'll have more news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Speaker Benjamin Cruz has retransmitted the 2019 budget bill back to the governor's office after correcting what he described as a clerical error, which the governor's office said could have threatened approval of the spending package. The problem was the absence of the word "no" preceding the word "government" on line 23 of page 125 of the budget bill. The effect of its absence would have restricted hiring for critical positions. The error was cited in a news release from the governor's office yesterday, which described the omission as a major concern that would restrict the hiring of teachers, nurses, engineers, and other critical positions in the government. Speaker Cruz acknowledged that the error was theirs, but he wrote that it would be a great shame to allow a clerical error to obstruct the mutual progress towards enacting a budget for the island and the people of Guam. The word "no" was duly inserted into the bill before the word "government," and the budget was sent back again for the administration's continued review. Students and staff at Father Duenas Memorial are praying the rosary at noon every day this week in memory of their late classmate, Xavier Akima. The 15-year-old former student at the school died over the weekend after being swept away in a flash flood while hiking with friends at San Carlos Falls. His body was recovered Monday afternoon following a 3-day search. Guam police released the results of the autopsy yesterday, which concluded that he died from drowning and his death was accidental. Archdiocese spokesman Tony Diaz said masses are being held for Xavier at the Our Lady of Lourdes Parish in Jigo at 6:30 weeknight evenings and 7 p.m. this Saturday and at 6 p.m. on Sunday. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Right now with a look at weather.
Well, thanks very much, Kevin. Mostly cloudy skies today and isolated showers. There's thunderstorms for this morning, then scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon. That's pleasant. East winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing a bit overnight. Daytime highs today about 87 degrees. Max afternoon heat index might be around 100. Overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. We'll get to the overnight part when it gets to be sunset. 6:42 sunrise this morning at 6:08, and tomorrow morning right around the same time. We'll take a quick look at the weather radar, and to interpret it for you, our meteorologist, our morning meteorologist, is Michael Knight.
Yeah, we can see by looking at the radar, you can check out the flow. It's a kind of a northeasterly flow around a very weak but evident circulation to our southeast, which will be passing south as the forecast mentioned. Right now, just some isolated showers for us this morning, but that'll increase as the day goes on. And of course, things change really quickly this time of year. So just because you don't see much on there right now doesn't mean there won't be much there in about 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah. Well, yesterday afternoon, I'm in the car, I'm driving through Tamuning, just sweating like a pig. Yeah. And when I pulled into the parking space over by Costules, this dark cloud appears out of nowhere and drops some angry rain all over Tamuning. And 10 minutes later, it was gone and back to being sunny.
And that's how it is, because the winds actually are going to be increasing, so it's going to be moving these showers through even faster. What's going to happen is this northeasterly flow is going to change to a southerly flow. As we look at the satellite here, right south of Guam, you can see a pretty significant circulation, and that is this particular system. It's a monsoon depression or monsoon low, and it's going to kind of pull up to our southwest and then sit there for a couple of days. Winds are going to increase. It's going to strengthen a bit, which is going to make our winds increase, but it's not at this time expected to turn into a tropical system. That could change because it's that time of year.
Yeah, it is summertime on Guam. Yeah. I got you. 6:14. We're going to keep an eye on that over the next couple of days and see what it does. As you said, the model predicts that it's going to park southwest and just sit there for a little bit before it does something else.
The problem with these monsoon systems is that these are very large and deep circulations, and they will spawn other circulations from them. So that's what the weather said. The models are just all over the place. They really are. The GFS shows this system pulling up to our west and then spawning another tropical system that moves through the Marianas. ECM says, maybe that's not going to happen.
In the movie with the mugwai, and you dripping water on the back of it, and then little mugwais pop out,
That's
right?
pretty much how it works.
Okay.
Yep.
6:15 in the morning. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282. Select a plan and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
You're going to get hungry later on. May I recommend that you take your hunger with you for lunch at King's, because that's where you're going to find some awesome pork sinigang. That's the Wednesday special. Tomorrow, meatloaf. Friday, beef tanakbak with the pakbak. Try that today with the pork sinigang at lunch at King's.
Nothing's more expensive than ignorance. Do you know what blockchain technology is or how it affects your financial life? You should. If it's a question in your mind, then you need to attend our free event at the Onward Beach Resort on Saturday, August 18th. If you own a business, you have to know how blockchain will change your business. Call now, 671-678-5989, or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Seating is limited. Call now, 671-678-5989.
Let me tell you how to save money. Don't spend it. Or you know what? Because there's things that you need to eat. You need to put gasoline in the car and stuff. And so this is my recommendation for saving money this week. Go eat at Wendy's. They've got a new sandwich. It's the Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Great taste. Nobody does crispy chicken better than the folks over at Wendy's. Buffalo Ranch sauce. Stick some melty cheese on it. Put it between a couple of pieces of bread and call it a sandwich. But here's the big deal. It's only $1. It's $1 for this, right?
I mean, for a little bit extra, you can have bacon put on it.
Ooh, hadn't even thought of that. Meat, candy, bacon. We'll just stick with the basics here. So if you're looking for a great meal on the go without spending a whole lot of money, and do it through the drive-thru so you don't waste any time either, swing by Wendy's. $1 chicken sandwiches.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
I'm sorry, I got to giggle every time I hear that spot, like she has to say, I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, Republican. Just a little bit more rub your nose in it, right? Hi, I'm a Republican, and I'm in with Lou. All right, portions of the program brought to you by Security Title, making sure you actually own the property you think you just bought.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
We gotta change the intro. We gotta change the intro. There's the morning talk that matters thing. I just can't take the pressure. You know, there's 3 full 45 minutes left in the program, and I got you counting on me to come up with stuff that matters. I'm just a kid from the village. I'm I'm a DJ living a dream doing talk radio on Guam. I'll try to come up with something. That's what I'll work on. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Michael Knight gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. He's itching to put the technology to work, so give us a ring, would you? 888-8255. If you are in a little bit more of a hurry this morning and don't want to deal with dial the phone and wait on hold and do all of that stuff, send me your thoughts at 988-5874. That's our WhatsApp line. They're leading in the technology, taking radio and making it more interactive than ever before. You know, it's the original social media, if you think about it, right? Back in the old days, you needed to communicate something to somebody. You called Johnny Gerber up on the radio and did your love song, love story dedication, and somebody else got the message. And there was a lot of back and forth. There was a nice little circular deal between the social media and you and whoever it was that you were trying to get the attention of. And so we continue that with today's technology. Facebook Live as an example, and the WhatsApp 988-5874. What you pointing out here?
Shouting out to my son, Michael Williams, who is a truck driver. He's currently in Kentucky. He drives all the way across the country in a really, really, really big truck.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 2 Michael Williams. There's the senior and there's the junior. Hello from the U.S. It's your great American truck driver checking in currently in Kentucky.
His arms are the size of your legs.
Nice. Do you want to make any more anatomical comparisons there? Okay.
Well, he looks a lot like me.
Kevin Kerrigan takes care of the news from the Guam Daily Post, and you got treated to lunch yesterday at the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay.
No way.
We
don't get lunch at the Rotary.
When I'm the president of the Rotary Clubs, because you want journalists showing up so that they will write about your guests.
You stand in the back.
You stand in the back.
Take notes.
That's it? Are you allowed to ask questions?
We have asked questions, but we're not necessarily allowed to.
Okay.
It's for the Rotary members, primarily.
I have been asked by the Rotary Club of Guam. That's the old man's club on Thursday. They have a couple of forums coming up. I think tomorrow is going to be the OPA, and the next week is going to be the Attorney General candidates.
We'll be there. Yep.
Well, I'm not going if they're not going to feed me. I think the deal is my brother's
you
going
go
to
as
buy
a member.
you
have to go as a member.
I have been a member of the Rotary Club, but they
Time
don't
to
always,
renew your membership.
They don't always have stunning guests on Thursdays. That's kind of the point. I got work. I could be taking a nap right now, but so that's the deal. So but if you show up, I'm going to find a way to make sure that you get something to eat.
Okay,
right? Because it says. So who did you cover yesterday? That was Byrne, right?
Edward Byrne. Yeah.
What did he say?
He said that there are some assumptions in the budget bill that we may get some revenues that we may not.
Yeah. We needed the director of the Department of Administration to point that out.
Yeah.
I hope they charged him for lunch for that advice. Yeah, there's some easy stuff to talk about. So we got the Section 30, which is a little bit flimsy because it's based on just a request to the United States government, right? And then there's the assumptions about what the Department of Revenue and Tax can and can't collect, right?
Tax amnesty.
Tax amnesty.
That's right.
Yeah.
9.4 million waiting to be deposited.
So the question that I have though is, who was it that had been holding out on rev and tax to the tune of $5 million?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's confidential.
Unfortunately.
But that would be interesting to know who walked in the door last Wednesday and plopped down $5 million.
Right. What you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And is it possible he's one of these guys, smart fella that said, you know what, I'm not ever going to pay taxes. I don't have to pay taxes. Because eventually they'll come around to doing an amnesty. So the money has been in his bank account all of this time. He's been able to use it, $5 million worth. And so the question that I've got is, number one, who is this guy or this person or this entity that is just now coming forward with $5 million? And number two, how much in terms of interest and penalty does the government of Guam forego?
A lot,
right? That's what I'm thinking. So I'm one of those. I like the amnesty program for what it is supposed to do. It's supposed to go out and get guys to come to Jesus with their tax debts and their debts to the government of Guam, and then their fellow taxpayers. On the other side of this, though, if we do this too often. And I think they've been overly generous this time around with the extension of deadlines and extension of deadlines to pay. I think what happens is we might have trained people, this person in particular, the $5 million man in particular, to hold off on paying taxes because they know that eventually the government of Guam is going to be so desperate for money that they will go into an amnesty program and he won't have to suffer any interest or penalties.
This was the first one in 10 years. But there was something interesting that came out last Friday during the testimony that 18 million of the 25 million in the amnesty are delinquent non-filers, people that walked in the door who hadn't filed.
That's it.
18 million of the 25.
That's still a lot of money.
That is a lot of money
it's a lot
for
of people.
Yeah,
6:24 in the morning. And, let's say good morning to everybody because the comments are starting to fly fast and furious on the Facebook Live. And I want to make sure that everybody that has checked in gets recognized and go.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Lynn Vince, Borja Polino, Ismael Belize is there. Jackie Cabrera, Fine, Blind, and Divine. I'm saying that wrong. Out in Washington State is up early. So is Carl and Jerry Gutierrez, Melissa Salas Akimoto, and there's Pretty Ashley there. Let me see. Ted Lewis and Marvick Pereja. Santino Scambaluri. Do you know what Santino's famous for? Number one, he's a great singer. He is one of the handful of guys that is capable of doing Michael McDonald's voice. You know the guy I keep forgetting? He's got his Steely Dan, kind of Kenny Loggins up there, kind of bubbly voice.
Brothers, so.
Yeah. Well, he's played with everybody, crisscross. And anyway, so Santino's good at that. He's also good at playing cards. He won one of those online poker tournaments. Nice to see you there, Santino. Nick Perlowski's up. Brad Hewitt, Bob Lizama, Joe Flores saying good morning, Ray and Kevin. And Brad says great job with the weather, Michael. It's true. Michael does some great weather magic for us in the morning. Dora Marie Fergiger and Jeff Ojeda. I see James Howard, Jeff Jones. Love my Ridgeline there, buddy. Jeff was the inspiration. He's got one, too. Leah Beth Nahalua. Dora, I already said Dora there. Randy Kruger is waving at me this morning. Lou Sanchez. That's the other Auntie Lou coming through. Good morning, TC. Trish is on. Charlene Marchessault is there. Katie Baltazar is on. And wish good luck to Katie. She's got her confirmation hearing tonight over at the legislature to make it so that she can permanently run the things over at the KGTF. Well, at least through the end of the administration. We'll see what happens. See Dave Duenas there. Jackie Diaz, Mary Part, Felix Regis, and Mark Cruz from G goes up. Let me see. Bobby Shringy. Morning, Bobby. It's nice to see you there. Ken Leon Guerrero. And Ken chiming in this morning says, Byrne seems to be losing faith in Adeloop's magic unicorn. What? What? No, he's just saying that there's, the budget's built on a lot of assumptions. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to start walking away, whistling to themselves, whistling as they walk past the budget now that it's over at the governor's office and is going to be Eddie's problem. Renzo Osborne, Marcy Winston, let me see, Rico Blancaflor is up there. Santino Scambolori writes in, Yamo be there. Yep, you and the guy. Who else? Maximo Ronquillo. And if you like, I'll say your name when you chime in, and I can see it on the Facebook Live. Very, very easy to get to. Hey, do me a favor. While you're there, Matthew Cruz saying good morning. While you're there, there's a button marked share on Facebook Live. Do me a favor, click it every once in a while, and just let your friends and other family know that that you have found a great place to start your morning constitutional newspaper and shower and get the kids ready for school, and you get Ray Gibson playing in the background, literally playing in the background. And the question I've got for you before it gets to be the top of the bottom of the hour headlines is: have you seen any cool videos lately? I only ask. I get a WhatsApp on the thing yesterday from my friend, and he says, "Hey, look what I found on YouTube." And I didn't pay any attention to it. You know, I was taking care of some other business, and I thought, another YouTube video. Great. This I need this, right? I've got work to do. I've got responsibilities. So I waited until after I took my afternoon nap, my siesta. Learned that from my granddaddy, raised by the Spanish priests, and he did that every single day. So I take a siesta every single day, and I'll always find myself in a surprisingly better mood after having woken up from my siesta. So I get to the WhatsApp, and I click on the link, and it takes me to this YouTube video. And I think if I hold my nose right, I had it queued up a second ago. Let me see if I can get the deal to play for us. No, is it this one? It's this one. Okay, stand by one. Are we up? Now look at what it looks like. It's you transferred money into somebody's office and they ended up hiring your kid.
That part I understand, Ray. That part I understand completely.
Yeah, but if it looks like something, then you generally don't do it. Couldn't you have given the money to get my sister's at the legislature? Could you not have sent the money to Mana's office?
By the way, she didn't ask.
She didn't. You got to ask. You got to put in an application for the money.
No, that was no, Ray. I understand about that.
It looks like dirty political nepotism. So it's a hatchet. It's a hatchet job. It's a hate piece, kill, death piece against Frank Uggan, and I barely remember the context of that. Maybe we'll see if we can find Frank and see if he remembers. Yeah, let's see if he wants to talk about it.
But you didn't produce that.
I did not produce it. Yeah, let me make it clear. I did not produce that particular video. That wasn't mine. I tell you what, it's interesting that somebody must really have it out for Frank Uggan to have reached into an archive. And let me make this clear. This is not a new interview. That piece of audio was recorded when I was still at K57, and obviously when my sister Mana was still over at the legislature, and that was what, 5 or 6 years ago in the very least, when she was a senator over at the legislature. Somebody has really got to have it out for Frank. Number one, to have remembered that story existed and that I did an interview and able to find the archive. I couldn't tell you. And I was the ops manager for a long time. I could not tell you where that audio might be reposed somewhere on the World Wide Web. I have no idea, because we had gone through a couple of versions of, Kevin and I worked on the website. We'd worked on a couple of different versions of it where the audio archives were moved from one place to another. So, and I haven't been there 2.5 years. So where'd you find that audio? That's cool. Come on, because I did some other great interviews, and I'd like to get some of that audio back.
You know, I'm the conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
And I think I know exactly where that came from.
Oh, yeah?
The initials are TT.
Interesting. You know, there's a couple of TTs out there.
No, and it's just a guess.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, like I said, Kill Death hit piece out there on Frank. And personally, you know, a couple of guys were asking if how I felt about that being included in the Kill Death piece. And I said, did they spell my name right? And the answer is yes, they did spell my name. Well, there you go. It obviously happened, and a piece from a long time ago. And maybe Frank wants to talk about it. Maybe Frank doesn't want to talk about it. Now there's another piece again, courtesy of the Sorensen Media Group. You can tell because it is so protective of their video. They've got a watermark on it, and it's a piece where Kenjo Ada is speaking holistically. Have you seen that one? Yeah, there's a good one. There's a good. We may play that relentlessly, just as an opportunity here for people to, you know, kind of square in on who they're going to be voting for and what they're going to be voting on. 6:33 in the morning. Hey, we got to do some headlines. I'll play that video for you on the other side of the headlines. Now from the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 6:33. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the new school year for more than 30,000 Guam public school students got off to a relatively smooth start yesterday. There were some issues with malfunctioning air conditioners at some schools. Parts were replaced at Benavente Middle School, Southern High School, and Simon Sanchez High School. Superintendent John Fernandez saying air conditioning has been the biggest issue leading up to the opening of schools yesterday. Repairs are usually easy to address, although he said they'll be monitoring the issue in the weeks ahead. Another issue, the shortage of substitute teachers before the new fiscal year begins on October 1st. The hiring freeze has kept the department from hiring substitutes to cover for teachers when others are absent. There are also some concerns about the lack of manpower to drive all of the school buses. Guam DOE's budget for the 2019 fiscal year was cut by about $15 million. Department of Administration Director Edward Byrne telling Rotary Club members yesterday that the budget bill lawmakers passed over the weekend contains some fairly difficult assumptions. There's an assumption that we may get revenues when we may not, he said. If that happens, some services are going to be curtailed. Byrne spoke during the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay meeting yesterday at the Pacific Star. The budget bill counts on an additional $10 million in Section 30 funds, which the administration has yet to receive. It also is dependent on full payment of the remaining $9.4 million in tax amnesty revenue pledged by delinquent taxpayers who may or may not deliver the balance of what they owe by the September 5th deadline. Today is the last day to register for the primary election. If you want to cast a ballot in the August 25th primary, you have until 8 o'clock tonight to register at the Guam Election Commission office in the GCIC building in Agana or at any mayor's office except for the Agana mayor's office. As of August 13th, the number of registered voters was just over 53,000, a 12-year high. As expected, the island's most populous villages have the most registered voters, with Dededo topping the list at 12,609 registered voters. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 6:35. That's iConnect time. Tell you what, these guys are all about practicality, and they don't want you spending any more money than you absolutely have to. So they've got great plans on things like your internet and mobile phones. And if you're in business or you just need to, maybe you got a big family and you need to get a hold of everybody, who's taking the kids to school, who's picking the kids up, what time is soccer, all of that, then maybe invest in the incredible push-to-talk technology that they've got at iConnect.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Where are we at now? 6:36 in the morning. What's for lunch? Swing by Subway. I mean, think about Subway. You know what you like at Subway. There's never a question of what you're going to eat because you've been eating there at Subway for a long time. Now, change it up. Instead of getting a sandwich, excuse me, I've had some Subway in there. Instead of getting a sandwich, get a wrap. They will wrap it up for you, and you will be surprised at the great taste and a new way to enjoy your favorites over at Subway. Filling, delicious, and you know it's going to be loaded up with meat and vegetables and all your favorite flavors. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Adkins Kroll.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Which one now? Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Half a day. This is Jerry Gutierrez. Many remember how committed Carl has been to helping our people during times of hardship, disaster, and financial crisis throughout his years of public service. For Carl, it has always been about people helping people. He would like this opportunity to work on your behalf once again as your governor. I humbly ask for your vote for the Gutierrez-Bordallo team on August 25th. Together, let's make Guam again.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Team Sunshine 2018. Roy P. Duenas, Treasurer.
I got you. 6:38 portions of the program also brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Yeah, there's already traffic here at 6:39 this morning. Looking at traffic on Upper Tumon around DPW and Kmart and John F. Kennedy High School. Already building up, as you might imagine, southbound side. We're seeing northbound traffic in the other direction starting to build as well. Getting into and out of the intersection of Marine Corps Drive and Route 3 beginning to build up. And we're watching traffic build up in front of Ukadu High School as well. So nothing in front of Anderson Air Force Base or Navy Hospital or Sumai. Sumai's starting to build up a little bit, though. I will give you that warning. And a little bit of traffic around Dead Man's Curve headed towards Adelup right now if you're headed northbound on Marine Corps Drive. Actually, it's northbound and southbound right in front of that Devil's Point area. 888-8255 if you see something. Well, I tell you what, I was going through yesterday afternoon. I was going through Snake Road and then up by Navy Hospital, and the line of traffic that was there. I mean, people trying to get into Navy Hospital about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. And here's the problem. There's no other lane. There's three lanes there. There is the lane that takes you to the Superior Court, and there's the lane that takes you to the other end of Snake Road and the My area, and a turn lane, and that's it. That's it. And so if you're up over at the turn that takes you to Carl Gutierrez's house, you're going to be stuck there for a while unless you have the cojones to, stroll through the turning lane for a little bit until you can get past that particular heartache. Unbelievable. Somebody got to do this. Can we go and ask the Navy to build us a new road there? Come on, me. Can we build? And the worst part of it is, I've been stuck in traffic there before with my daughter. And they've got a really nice little kids play area park there with swings and monkey bars and all of that thing. And my daughter, when she was a little girl, she'd always say, "Daddy, can you take me there to play?" I don't want to. I said, we got one by the house. She said, yeah, but it smells like pee-pee. Can we? I want to go. I want to go to that one, Daddy. Can you take me to that one? And then I had to explain to her how I missed the opportunity, the privilege for service in this man's Navy. And no, sweetie, I don't think we're going to be able to get to play there. Maybe if you make a friend, they can invite us onto the base so we can go and play in that particular place. 19 away from the top of the hour, and that was traffic here on The Point.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now tell a friend.
Is that so? Is that so? All right. Well, I'll make a note to myself to keep an extra eye skinned for traffic around the University of Guam and GCC area. Got a note from somebody on the WhatsApp. Somebody sent me a note on the WhatsApp just now, 988-5874. Sorry, I'm holding this up like you're supposed to know what it is. This is the gizmo with the what do they call it? The SIM card that I got from Docomo for our WhatsApp. It's 988-5874, 988-5874. Got another one coming in. I appreciate that. But apparently, we're starting school over at the University of Guam and GCC. GW already in effect over there, so I think that means that we're going to see some snagging on Route 10 and the intersection of Route 10 and number 32. As people are going to be going through there. That will join traffic on Route 10 and Route 15 that seems to be picking up these days with everybody that needs to get on the back road to Anderson Air Force Base. 6:43 in the morning, and there are a couple of things that I wanted to. I promised I was going to play the other video that's floating around. And wait, what are you doing there? Where'd that come from? Oh, it came from me. Oh, on my side. Hold on. You know what? There might be a couple of video things that are playing it simultaneously and at the same time. I might have to close something. Wait. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm dealing with technology here. So that window has to close, and this window has to close. And now I can play this one here. Now this was the other video that I got, and it made me laugh out loud. They do this thing over at Sorensen called Coffee with the Candidates. And I participated in this before. You go and you sit down with somebody, and we're having coffee. I think we did it at Port of Mocha the year that I was involved in it. You sit down and you ask these politicians questions about what they think are hot issues, what's important, and that kind of thing. So Paulie sat down with Kenjo Ada, and this was the result of the Q&A between them.
The spirit and the air and everything that's going to set Guam free, ironically.
Right. You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to get...
Hey, what happened? Wait. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Sorry, I pressed a button and something happened. Crap. Okay, I'm going to have to do that later. Man, it was just getting to the good part. Hold on. No, I'm going to do it now. I just got to click on the thing, and wait, where's the guide? That one. Click there. So I was just trying to get the. No, it's my fault. No, totally my fault. Here I am. Brains the size of a planet.
You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to give you a more holistic view.
Sure.
In life, I think if you're living, you should die. If you're smart, you should get dumb. And if you're poor, you should get rich. And if you're dumb, you should get smart. And if you're dead, you should get alive. So that way you're whole. And when death finds you, there's nothing to kill because you're already obliterated.
Thank you very much.
What the hell? What?
wisdom from on high.
That's kind of Buddhist, yeah?
I don't know what the hell I just listened to. What was that? What was that?
If you're hungry, you should eat.
If you're thirsty, you should have a drink. If you're drunk, you should be sober. If you're sober, you should be drunk. I don't know. It's this is School of Yoda here where we got going on. What just makes me leap to determine what the definition of holistic is, and from the World Wide Web Dictionary, characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole, characterized by the treatment of the whole person taking into account mental and social factors. Mental? Rather than just the physical symptoms of a disease. You want me to play it again, don't you? Okay. From the top here. Let's catch all of it. Put the audio again.
Let's get us at Guam free, ironically.
Right. You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to give you a more holistic view.
Sure.
In life, I think if you're living, you should die. If you're smart, you should get dumb. And if you're poor, you should get rich. And if you're dumb, you should get smart. And if you're dead, you should get alive. So that way you're whole. And when death finds you, there's nothing to kill because you're already obliterated.
Sorry. You know, this is why I love the political season, because you just never know. You just never know. Every day, every single day is an opportunity for somebody to get in front of an audience, to be at a forum, and say and do just stupid things. So that's the Ken Joada from the Coffee with the Candidates, and again the video comes to us not necessarily courtesy of the Sorensen Media Group. It's just like I said, they put the watermark on it, so everybody knows that's definitely one of their pieces. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. Who's on line one? I didn't turn on the thing yet. Who's that? Oh, Marie's on. You know, I hate bothering her so early in the morning. Maybe in a couple of days we'll get to the part where we talk to Maria Pangilinan when she's already in the office.
Actually, she's one of the few that does not yell at me at this hour.
Oh, really?
So we can call her early.
Oh, I got you. Could you yell at Mike every once in a while? Because I don't, and he needs discipline, Maria.
Good morning to Mr. Knight and Mr. Gibson.
Good to have you here. I just wanted to give you an opportunity, and we missed it yesterday because we were talking about the potential for Ray Gibson as a write-in candidate. And if you thought Ken Joe could wax poetic and just throw wisdom, you just wait until I start talking on a microphone. Anyway, so today the last day for voter registration, correct?
Yes. At the mayor's offices and at the Guam Election Commission, starting at 8 o'clock and ending at 8 o'clock tonight.
So 8 in the morning until 8 at night, go to the mayor's office. What do I need to bring with me, and how do I know I might need to register?
If you are a U.S. citizen, at least 16 years old, and a resident of one of the villages on Guam.
Did you say 16?
Yes. There is pre-registration on a law. It was passed, I think, in 2015 or 16, a law that says people who are at least 16 years of age can pre-register. And then people who are 17, not yet 18 for the primary election, 17, but will be 18 by the general election, Tuesday, November 6th. If they're only 17, but will turn 18 by the general election, they can still vote in the primary election.
This sounds like one of those math problems from high school. So one more time, if they are going to, if they're 17 years old now, okay, but just start again. What now? So I got a 17-year-old son; he can register.
Yes.
If.
Well, no. Anybody who's 16 years old can register.
Okay, anybody 16 can register. There's no qualification there. They would be pre-registered. Now, when will they be able to vote with that registration?
Okay. If they are 17 and will be 18 by the general election day, they can vote in the primary election.
If they're okay, but they're going to be 18 by the general, that will allow them to vote in the primary?
That's correct.
Interesting. Well, I wonder why they did that.
It was.
I guess so they can vote at 17.
They can vote at 17 then, and is that right?
Yes, they can.
There we go.
Yeah. Then why don't we just make 17 the legal voting age?
Good question.
Because obviously it is if they can vote in the primary. So it allows them to select candidates in the primary election that would go into the general that they would be qualified to vote in as an adult.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. That sounds like an interesting kind of gerrymandering thing to me. Okay, so it's anybody, American citizen, 16 years of age or older.
Can pre-register.
Okay, and then what about residency?
30 days in the village, 30 days, and you count back from the day of the election that you're going to register for.
Okay, so 30 days back from the 25th, so about July the 24th, 25th, you would need to have established some kind of domicile. Do I need to prove that? Do I need to bring, I don't know, a trash bill or a power bill or something like that?
No, you just sign under oath the affidavit of registration.
Okay, so affidavits are good enough to get you in. Do I have to bring money? Should I bring some cash?
No, thank you, Ray Gibson.
How about some empanada or butchie, something for the lady?
No, but bring them to our district registrars out there in the mayor's offices. They've been working really hard.
Of course.
Every other day, the GEC staff have been going out to pick up affidavits of registration. And every other day, my eyes are wide and my mouth opens up because they bring back stacks.
Everybody's eyes are wide and their mouths are open because we played that Kenjo audio.
Ray Gibson,
what?
We're up to 53,000 registered voters now.
I'm absolutely delighted to hear that. I hope all of them show up for work on the, that's their job now is to go and vote on the primary election. That's absolutely got to take place. Absolutely got to happen. And so that's going. Now, what about the people that were registering folks in the campaigns? And something I didn't realize is there's a finite number of people. So if I was working for Carl Gutierrez or Tony Ada and Ray Tenorio, and I had people out registering voters. I didn't realize there was a finite number of people that were allowed to do that.
Yes. The policy for the Guam Election Commission, established some time ago in the 80s, I believe, was that the maximum would be 50 for each party and 50 non-affiliated. And so there would be a maximum of 150. But the Guam Election Commission also has the option to increase that number. So for this election, the number went up to 75.
And those guys now they are done registering as well today.
They were done as of August 3rd.
Okay. I just somebody had mentioned that to me, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that there was some kind of a limit on it, but it doesn't sound like it's a massive limit because 50 to 75 actually sounds pretty big. Okay, anything else going to be happening at the Election Commission today that my listeners need to know about?
Yes. For all the candidates on the primary election and all the committees to elect and all the political action committees, any political action committee or campaign committee, a preliminary campaign finance report is due today by 5 o'clock.
Otherwise, what happens?
Well, their names. The commission will take a look at it, and the commission can do. First off, the Guam Election Commission supervises campaign finance. So they can find candidates or they can find candidates, and they can also send names to the Attorney General.
If you send it to the Attorney General, something might actually get done before Christmas. I'm just playing around, Maria. I got to let you go before I get into trouble.
All right. Thank you, Ray, for having us on the radio to announce that today is the last day for voter registration, and today is also the last day to transfer from village to village your voting district before the general election.
Noted. If you have been moving around, today is the last day to do it. If you want to, otherwise you can still stay in your regular district, right? You just don't tell anybody.
That's correct.
Keep it a secret.
No.
You got my side family over there, you know. I told you I had to let you go before we get in trouble.
Okay.
All right, Maria, love you. 6:57 in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, until it's not going to be. How do you know who to vote for? And in many cases, like I said, every day, another opportunity for somebody to put their foot in it. For example, today, the Guam Regional Medical City has got a forum among the gubernatorial candidates. It'll take place between 3 and 5, I believe, if I'm looking at this correctly. And they're going to have as many of the candidates, I guess, that aren't tired of appearing in forums show up over at GRMC, offering candidates the opportunity to answer questions about health care from GRMC employees. So it's going to be at the Boca City Cafeteria in the lower level of the hospital right there in the front. You know what? Visitors will be asked to go through their regular security screening, and it's GRMC. You know how the parking is around there, so you might want to get in early if you're going to be attending this. 3 to 5, and again, the topics are going to be on healthcare and maybe a little bit more on the holistic approach that we might be able to take to healthcare on Guam as systems of care from the top down. Maybe some of that's going to be happening. And vitally important to you, I suggest, for a couple of reasons, that you pick up today's Guam Daily Post. There's an additional set of contractor names. They had a supplement a couple of weeks ago, and they've supplemented that supplement now. So that's in there. If you're looking for a tile guy, if you're looking for a cabinet guy, maybe you're looking to get some work done at the house or the office, you get that. But also on page 8, the first of a series of Q&A features with senatorial candidates. Basically, the Guam Daily Post says, Jermaine, Alerta, what are the 3 biggest issues out there, and how do you intend to deal with them? And as an example, Jermaine says the most pressing issue our community must deal with is the government's current financial crisis. Issue number 2, we need to ensure that Guam Memorial Hospital retains its Medicare and Medicaid eligibility. And number 3, we must improve the conditions of our roads by investing enough money to finally fix all the potholes while doing the job right.
What does Ken Joe have to say?
Ken Joe says, quoting Bruce Lee, if you put water in a cup, it's still water. Guaylo. 7 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG. I got ya. 93.3, The Point. Fox News Live is going to be coming up. On the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all the big stories from today's Guam Daily Post. Pick it up at wherever you can find Guam Daily Posts, and then we'll take a look at the market here from Jerry Roberts. And yes, I'm probably going to play Ken Joe's piece pretty much all morning long. It's 7 a.m. Stand by for news now.
No apologies from the White House. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Instead, a defense of the president's counterattack on a former aide and her new book. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
Critics of the president say his tweets calling his former aide Omarosa Manigault Newman a lowlife and a dog were racist. But White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders defended the president, saying he's simply defending himself.
The president is somebody who's always going to fight fire with fire. This is something that isn't new, and it's something the American people knew when they voted, overwhelmingly elected him to be the president of the United States.
Sanders did not say if the White House will pursue legal action against Manigault Newman, but the Trump campaign has filed an arbitration claim against her, arguing that she violated a non-disclosure agreement she signed when she joined the campaign in 2016. Lisa?
Well, John Omarosa telling MSNBC she doesn't think she violated the agreement. The jury will soon have the case against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. The defense resting today without calling any witnesses. Defense attorney Kevin Downing.
Well, we live in the United States of America, and you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. And we believe the government cannot meet that burden.
Closing arguments set for tomorrow morning. Manafort denies any wrongdoing. He's charged with 18 counts related to past business dealings. Police say the terror suspect accused of driving his car into pedestrians near the British Parliament this morning has British citizenship.
He drove his car down from Birmingham in the north of the UK last night, arriving around midnight. Not a lot is known about what happened since then, but there have been raids carried out in both Birmingham and Nottingham, 3 of them so far, so it does appear as if the police know a little bit more about him. What they're trying to ascertain now is if this threat is over completely or if perhaps it can lead them to other people.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in London, where 3 people were hurt in the attack. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On-site diesel delivery by Morico Equipment. Morico Equipment offers an on-site diesel delivery service right to your door. Diesel is delivered at pump prices. Don't wait for a typhoon to hit. Call Morico at 649-1966 right now. Kohler Power Systems are quiet, reliable, and dependable. With regular service and support from our team, they stay that way. Kohler generator systems are sold and serviced on Guam by Morico Equipment. Yes. Call now 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
More than 300 clergy members accused of abusing more than 1,000 children over 7 decades in Pennsylvania, with church officials accused of hiding it.
In each diocese, the bishops had the key to the secret archives, which contained both allegations and admissions of the abuse and the cover-up.
State Attorney General Josh Shapiro releasing results of a 2-year grand jury investigation. Several dioceses releasing statements condemning abuse, apologizing to victims, and emphasizing changes already made. The cause of a deadly bridge collapse under investigation in Italy. At least 26 people killed when part of a 4-lane highway gave way during heavy rain, crashing onto another highway below in Genoa. All things Elvis, as faithful fans continue their annual gathering in Memphis for Elvis Week, this time marking 41 years since his death.
Visitors to Graceland come here to tour the home and see the Jungle Room. Memphis Tourism President and CEO Kevin Kane says there's a reason so many of the King's things are there.
Fortunately for us, Elvis never threw anything away. So you had just an unlimited treasure trove of just unbelievable artifacts.
Like clothing, stage costumes, gold records.
What you see on display now, 40 years later at the Elvis Presley's Memphis Experience is they probably have that much or more in storage.
Graceland auctions off memorabilia each year, giving fans a chance to own some of it.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers at Graceland, a publishing agreement signed by Elvis in 1955, selling for more than $37,000 at this year's auction. You can hear more about Elvis Week on our podcast, the Fox News Rundown, tomorrow morning at foxnewsradio.com. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Hey there, it's me, your stomach, down here, you know, the one who can talk. Anyway, I was just at a yoga sesh with a few of the other stomachs, and mid-tree pose, everyone started talking about Subway's new savory rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wrap. It's a mouthful to say, I know, but with creamy Caesar dressing and double the rotisserie-style chicken. It's not the only thing that's full, if you know what I mean. It's me. I'm the one that's full. Because I'm a stomach. That's kind of what I do. Subway, make it what you want. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Attorney Delia Lujan Wolf, who represents most of the plaintiffs in the sexual abuse cases against the Catholic Church, has questioned the credibility of the Archdiocese of Agana after learning that 4 church properties already have been sold or are in the process of being sold without the plaintiff's knowledge. During a status conference in district court yesterday, Wolf said one of the properties, the former Axion Hotel, is now under a contract to purchase. The 5-story former hotel in Jonia has been listed for $7.5 million, but Wolf said the offer is less than the listed price. The Epicure building in Agana has also been sold, she said. That's where the Kamalan Karidat thrift store used to be. She complained that the plaintiffs are learning of sales after they've taken place. But Attorney Michael Patterson, the legal counsel for the Archdiocese, told the court that he met with Attorney David Lujan, who's also representing the plaintiffs, and Patterson said he told Lujan about the sale of church properties. 4 Taiwanese women who came to Guam on tourist visas are now facing allegations of visa fraud after they were found working as hostesses at a Tamuning lounge. Yushin Chang, Yi Ying Lin, Chao and Wang, and Yi Jung Guo came to Guam in June and July as tourists under the visa waiver program. A criminal complaint was filed in district court accusing the women of failing to disclose that they intended to illegally work as hostesses at the Wild Orchid Tavern in Tamuning. According to court documents, an undercover agent with Homeland Security bought drinks from the women and paid $20 for each drink. The women are scheduled to make an initial appearance today in district court. We'll have more news after this.
Our workforce is changing, and our students need to be prepared for the challenges that are ahead. I graduated high school at GCC when we could learn a trade and even prepare for college. Our students deserve schools that are safe and books and resources that help prepare them for their future.
The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will rebuild Simon Sanchez, fix our schools, integrate technology in the classroom, and expand access to trades. I'm in to help get us there, and we humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. Department of Administration Director Edward Byrne telling Rotary Club members yesterday that the budget bill lawmakers passed over the weekend contains some fairly difficult assumptions. There is an assumption that we may get revenues when we may not, he said. If that happens, some services are going to be curtailed. Byrne spoke during the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay meeting yesterday at the Pacific Star. The budget bill counts on an additional $10 million in Section 30 funds, which the administration has yet to receive. It also is dependent upon full payment of the remaining $9.4 million in tax amnesty revenue pledged by delinquent taxpayers who may or may not deliver the balance of what they owe by the September 5th deadline. During the budget debate, Byrne observed that some lawmakers tried to force change by introducing amendments that would force the government to make collections or that would force the government to make savings. You can't force change, he said. If you decide to change and reduce the scope of government, don't expect it to be done overnight. Byrne said plan it and expect to do it over the course of years. A Guam Police Department officer behind bars after he was accused of driving under the influence when he crashed an official vehicle, resulting in multiple injuries. 52-year-old officer Dennis Santos arrested yesterday on allegations that he was driving while impaired with a child on board, causing injuries, disobeying a red light, failure to wear a seatbelt, and official misconduct. Santos was off duty at the time that he crashed an official police vehicle into another car just after midnight on July 4th on Marine Corps Drive near the Kmart. He was hospitalized for injuries he sustained in the crash. The occupants of the other vehicle were also hospitalized with injuries. Police have not disclosed Santos's blood alcohol level at the time of the crash. An internal affairs investigation of the incident is still ongoing. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with weather.
Mostly cloudy today, Kevin, with isolated showers and thunderstorms to be expected this morning, then scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon. Winds east up to about 20 miles an hour, decreasing a bit overnight. Highs about 87 degrees, and this is going to be where it gets freaky, is we're going to have thunderstorms, and then it's going to be really hot. I mean, 100 degrees or so is what they say we can expect it to feel like today. The temps will still be in the 80s, but it will feel like it's 100. That's the magic of the heat index. Overnight lows tonight of about 78 degrees. Sunset about 6:42. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:08. That's news and weather together. Traffic coming up on The Point.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
A couple of spots on Marine Corps Drive I need to let you know about. Traffic starting to build up around Waisang Song, and northbound traffic, oddly, is slowing down in front of the Dedito Payless. I'm looking at southbound or outbound traffic around Ukadu beginning to snag. Northbound traffic on Route 3 is also starting to build up through there as well. Some of the intersections are starting to get kind of ugly here. What do we got here? Coming out of Ipao Road on the way to the 76 Circle K, you're going to see some slowing down as a lot of cars are trying to make it through that particular intersection. Anywhere else that you need to know about? 8, 10, and 16 is starting to get a little bit busy. Up and around the Sinahanya area, the intersection there, things are starting to build up through there. And in front of Naval Hospital, we're starting to see traffic build as well. On the way in, I told you this was going to happen, but traffic leading to Route 4 and 10 starting to build up. Traffic from Route 10 spilling onto the roadway that takes you into GCC and UOG, starting to get busy as well. That's not the official traffic. Official traffic a little bit later on. I just think, a couple of days into the school year, it's important to do this a little bit more often. Also, important that you go to King's a little bit more often. They're ready for you at lunchtime today. It's Wednesday, so that's pork sinigang. Tomorrow, meatloaf, yay! And then beef tinaktak on Friday. Great way to think about a week's worth of eating at King's. Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, FHB, where it all starts with yes. Yes.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
That stupid tapas crude. I was looking at the numbers. Remember the other day I was all excited because tapas had gone down by like $2.85, and I'm going, oh, Zana, it's a brand new day out there. The world is going to turn differently, and we'll all have smiles on our faces, and we'll float when we walk. And so tapas, does what tapas did. It went back up by like $2.35, $75.55 is where tapas is trading right now. 66.63 if you're looking at the West Texas crude, the stateside benchmark. Doggone it. But the other markets are looking good as well. What do we got? The S&P 500 closing in the green, plus 18 points at 28.39. NASDAQ at 78.70 there, and that's up by about 51 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average didn't quite make up all of the ground they lost yesterday, but they're getting close. 25,299. They're up by 112 points at the closing bell today. FTSE is in the red. Nikkei is going to open in the green at 22,356. Hang Seng in the red. So is the Shanghai, and the DAX is up by about what is that? Nothing to the point? Yeah. 12,358 for those numbers. What's the big story today? Trump unloads on the FBI, Robert Mueller, Jeff Sessions, and the Department of Justice in a furious morning tweet storm. Remind me to go and look those up. Remind me to go and see what he had to say about all of that stuff. Yesterday, the talk show guys were going crazy over the Omarosa tapes and recordings that she made, and wondering who is actually in charge over at the White House. And the answer to that question is I am. I'm in charge of all of that. 7:18 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. Jerry Roberts coming up in just a second. But on the assumption that not everybody wakes up at the same time and gets to hear and see all of the things that make me giggle on a daily basis. There's a couple of things I'd like to play for you, and people have asked that I replay the Kenjo at audio and video for you. So once again, courtesy, let me just say it this way, stolen from Sorensen Media Group. Here is the audio from...
the spirit and the air and everything that's going to set Guam free, ironically.
Right. You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to give you a more holistic view.
Sure.
In life, I think if you're living, you should die. If you're smart, you should get dumb. And if you're poor, you should get rich. And if you're dumb, you should get smart. And if you're dead, you should get alive. So that way you're whole. And when death finds you, there's nothing to kill because you're already obliterated.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Come on. Poor Pauly Suba. You know, at the start of it, he just kind of goes, right. It's one of those we'll be right back after these messages kind of moments, isn't it? I've having interviewed, done a million interviews in my lifetime, in my career. I don't know, and I may have to go and watch the rest of that to see how Paulie was able to recover from the spin that was coming out of Kenjo. 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, and now the highlight of the program for me, because it allows me a couple of seconds to just let somebody else do the talking. It's The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts.
I have to admit, I'm quite often attracted to articles and posts that have titles like 7 Strategies to Recapture Your Lost Youth and 21 Proven Methods to Have Clients Hire You 3 times More Often. And my all-time favorite, 5 Secret, Totally Sure Ways to Grow Hair Like a Gorilla. I'm Jerry Roberts. And now that you know this, you'll understand why I was excited when I read 5 Qualities of Remarkably Loyal Employees. Let's get to the details now on The Extra Point. It was in Inc. magazine from a fellow named Jeff Hayden, who said right off the bat, loyalty has absolutely nothing to do with length of employment. That's interesting, because many people would think those who have been with us the longest would be the most loyal. Hayden believes that familiarity can bring problems. People who have been with you for, say, 20 years might occasionally be critical of you in front of others, presumably because they feel they have a license to do so. He likes the employee who's been there for just months and who embraces your vision and then works his or her tail off every day to help the company get there. Here are Hayden's 5 qualities of remarkably loyal employees. Number 1, they treat you like a person. Many workers see the boss as just a boss, not someone with hopes, dreams, unique talents, a background of ups and downs, a complete human being. 2, they tell you what you need to hear but may not want to hear. In other words, if there are inconvenient truths you need to know about because that helps you do what's best for the company and your workers, they'll make sure you do. 3, they never take part in boss bashing. They may not always agree with you, but when the choir of discontent starts singing about your sins as a manager, remarkably loyal workers don't join in. If they talk behind your back, it's positive. 4, they support your decisions. Debate and disagreement is healthy. Every effective leader wants to hear what his or her team thinks. Then, once a decision is made, even if they don't agree with it, remarkably loyal employees don't just go through the motions. They do everything they can to help bring success. And 5, they soften the blow when they need to leave. Remarkably loyal employees are those you never want to see walk out the door, but because it's often for an opportunity you simply can't match, or for personal reasons, you understand the need for them to go. The truly remarkable and loyal workers do everything they can to ensure the hole they're leaving is filled, so the organization doesn't skip a beat. They give you as much lead time as possible. They often recruit talent to fill the position, reaching people in a way that no employment ad ever will. Then they train the replacement and get them up to speed before they depart. It's an ultimate example of a remarkably loyal employee. That's The Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and The Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Loyalty is everything. That's the plan. 7:23 in the morning. This is The Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. That'll be about 10 o'clock. And then don't forget, we get Bob Klitsky on the radio at 4. There's still, I'm finding out from people, because I still get folks come up to me and say, hey, you ever going to put somebody on the radio in the afternoon? Yeah, Bob Klitsky's been on the radio at 4 o'clock every day for the last 3 weeks. So start making that your afternoon drive habit, would you? 7:23 on the way back. I've got some more traffic for you. We'll do headlines from Kevin Kerrigan in the Guam Daily Post, and a request to play the Frank video. Yeah, I get the. Somebody said you're playing the Kenjo thing. Can you do the Frank video as well? It's the Kill Death piece, featuring an interview or the vocals of an interview I did with him, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. That's all ahead right here on The Point.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to get through this together, and it'll probably take another week or so before everybody gets used to the changes in the traffic patterns that we've got here, especially around Ukudu. I got traffic in both directions in front of the school that's starting to slow down. Traffic coming out of Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive is also going slower than normal now. I told you that there was going to be a little bit of a delay coming out of the EPAL Road area onto Marine Corps Drive. That continues to persist here. And traffic coming out of Route 10A after Home Depot and at the 76 Circle K, you're going to see traffic slowing down. It's just so many cars that you can get through that intersection to go northbound and southbound. Let me just take a quick jog up to Jigo. Interestingly enough, as I say, northbound traffic is a little bit slower than southbound traffic. That's going to be the case until you get up around Simon Sanchez High School and FBLG. It's already starting to go big there. Traffic lingering coming out of Anderson Air Force Base, also building traffic in front of Navy Hospital, building traffic getting into Sumai building here this morning. So it's that time at 7:25. We're definitely into drive time traffic, and that's the report here on The Point.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, Prime Loco Moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Chicken Bella. Every time I go to Ruby Tuesdays, Chicken Bella and Michelob Ultra. Even if it's lunchtime, because they just go so good together. They just so good. All right, so I promised I was going to get you the video, the Frank video, and as I said, it's a kill death piece that goes back to Kevin was able to find it. When January of
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
This is so somebody has held on to this. Either the audio or the story itself for 7 years, waiting for Frank Uggan to put together a credible campaign as a candidate for the governor. I mean, you just that's what kind of obsession is that? What? I mean, it's interesting, right? Because it's a political season. But it would have been really interesting. It would be just as interesting if it was something that he'd done a couple of years ago, right? But going back to 2011, I mean, that's obsessed. That's somebody that's just has that incredible hate, I think, is the only word. Yeah. What movie character am I thinking of? Who's thinking? There's a Hollywood analogy here. Who has got that kind of obsession? Okay. You remember in the Blues Brothers,
right?
And Jake Blues had the girlfriend that kept trying to blow him up.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you?
That's
that's the
pretty close.
Left her at the. All right. So I wonder if that's what it is. Is it like an old girlfriend or something like that? Ooh. Like he was supposed to take somebody to prom and he didn't, and she's still holding the grudge?
Especially now that he's like a big, powerful politician. Yeah.
Just waiting for this opportunity to get good on revenge.
She sits on her porch every morning drinking coffee.
And we don't know what it is. It's a dish. Revenge is a dish best served cold. All right, so there's some of this that you're not going to be, if you're just listening to the radio, you're going to miss some of the annotation that they put up there and in text writing. So I'll read it to you, and then it will go into me giving Frank a hard time about the use of lapsed funds from when he left his office. You might recall he was running for governor, or lieutenant governor at the time, lost the election, and boy, that was another sad piece. So anyway, so he lost the election, and as they will, deciding what to do with lapsed funds. And we'll tell you the rest of the story because Kevin was able to find it here just a second ago. So it says, Frank Uggan says he's running for governor to change our government. And here we click the thing now. Frank Uggan says, but what about the taxpayer money he used to get his son hired after he lost the 2010 election?
Now look at what it looks like. It's you transferred money into somebody's office and they ended up hiring your kid.
That part I understand, Wayne. That part I understand completely.
Yeah, but if it looks like something, then you generally don't do it. couldn't you have given the money to get my sister's at the legislature? Could you not have sent the money to Mana's office?
By the way, she didn't ask.
She didn't. You got to ask. You got to put in an application for the money.
No, that was no, Ray. I understand about that.
It looks like dirty political nepotism.
Mm-hmm. If Frank Hogan can use taxpayer money to give his son a job as a senator, imagine what he would do as governor. Kill death. Why didn't you take me to prom, Frank? Any other good hit pieces out there? 888-8255. Send me the link on the WhatsApp channel. It's 988-5874, 988-5874. And just FYI, I don't have a problem with it. As I said, they spelled my name right, number one. Number two, it was a legitimate news story at the time. So all I was doing was, as host of the breakfast show at K57, asking questions of the guy. And, to the degree that he answered him, didn't answer him, that's always on the guy, not necessarily me. But I sounded pretty good in that, right?
Of course.
Didn't I? Somebody said I was with a higher voice. So
yeah, no, definitely.
So really, since 2011, you think my voice has changed that much?
Yeah. Well, see, you're further along from when you stopped smoking. And as your voice will change, and actually it will get a little deeper, and as your lungs and windpipe get healthier, then you're able to resonate better. You weren't resonating very well back then, but you are now.
You know what the difference? I think one of the other differences as well.
Running?
No, different microphones.
Yeah, well.
Again, this is a Heil microphone.
Yeah, well, these, over there, they're using.
Heil is the guy that did the mics for the Rolling Stones.
They're much better than tin cans with string.
7:31 in the morning. Headline time from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the new school year for more than 30,000 Guam public school students got off to a relatively smooth start yesterday. There were some issues with malfunctioning air conditioners at some schools. Parts were replaced at Benavente Middle, Southern High School, and Simon Sanchez High Schools. Superintendent John Fernandez said air conditioning had been the biggest issue leading up to the opening of schools yesterday. Repairs are usually easy, however. He said that they'll be monitoring that issue in the weeks ahead. Another issue is the shortage of substitute teachers for the public schools, and that before the new fiscal year begins on October 1st. The hiring freeze has kept Guam DOE from hiring substitutes to cover for teachers when they're absent. There are also some concerns about the lack of manpower to drive all the school buses. Guam DOE's budget for the 2019 fiscal year was cut by about $15 million. Speaker Benjamin Cruz has resent the 2019 budget bill back to the governor's office after correcting what he described as a clerical error, which the governor's office said could have threatened approval of the spending package. The problem was the absence of the word no preceding the word government on line 23, page 125 of the budget bill. The effect of its absence would have restricted hiring for critical positions. The error was cited in a news release from the governor's office yesterday, which described the omission as a major concern that would restrict the hiring of teachers, nurses, engineers, and other critical positions in GovGuam. Speaker Cruz acknowledged that the error was theirs, but he wrote that it would be a great shame to allow a clerical error to obstruct the mutual progress towards enacting a budget for the island and the people of Guam. The word no was duly inserted into the bill before the word government, and the budget bill was sent back again for the administration's continued review. Students and staff at Father Duenas Memorial School praying the rosary at noon every day this week in memory of their late classmate Xavier Akima. The 15-year-old former student at the school died last weekend after being swept away in a flash flood while hiking with friends at San Carlos Falls. His body was recovered Monday. Following a 3-day search, Guam police released the results of the autopsy yesterday, which concluded that he had died from drowning and his death was accidental. Archdiocese spokesman Tony Diaz said masses are being held for Xavier at the Our Lady of Lourdes Parish in Jigo at 6:30 p.m. weeknights and 7 in the evening this Saturday, 6 p.m. on Sunday. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
So we'll get around to the iConnect time here in just a second, but Kevin Kerrigan with an interesting question. I pondered this, and I meant to ask, but completely forgot while I had Maria Pangilinan on the line, about the Attorney General's race.
Yes.
So for the audience, what was your question?
Well, I was just, is the primary going to settle it, or is there going to be, are the same three candidates going to be in the running in the general election in November? I mean, what's the purpose of two elections for the same three people?
You would think, right? You would think it would go that way. In their infinite wisdom, as noted in Chapter 5 of the Guam Code Annotated, Title 30, it says, and I quote, "The candidates complying with the provision of this section shall be placed on a separate ballot for the office of Attorney General to be cast at the primary election. The two candidates who receive the most votes in the primary election shall be certified accordingly by the Election Commission and then placed on a separate ballot for the general election."
So only two will advance.
That's right. Only two get this. So it's like a little runoff there between the three of them. The top two advance, and the candidate receiving the most votes, subject to the qualification established by this chapter, shall be certified by the Guam Election Commission as having won the election to the position of Attorney General. So in this,
didn't know that.
In this case, it's also interesting because they're going with a majority of the vote, not 50% plus one.
Interesting. I didn't know that, yeah.
So yeah, it's like that. So, but you're right. Why bother having a primary then?
Well, there's going to be only two will advance.
So yeah, but arguably the same. You know, if we're going for the person that gets the most votes in the general election,
seems like it should be handled the same way the OPA is handled.
Right? Just make it
just
here it is.
One and done.
Because it's almost identical. There are three people running for Attorney General. There are three people running for the public auditor position.
Yeah, the OPA election is final. That's a special election. It's not a primary. So we will know who the winner is after August 25th.
And so that's the thing that we've got to look out for. I'm curious about that, and I'm wondering maybe if that's something that we can do away with in the future, is just make the statute the same, identical for the public auditor position, and as it is with the Attorney General stuff. 7:36 in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show. That's iConnect time, and they're all about being practical. So here's the idea: you need to save money on your internet and on your mobile plans, and push to talk, which they feature as well. In fact, they're the only guys that do push to talk in this town. That's the ultimate in practical communications. Get it with iConnect.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program here also brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Eco Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Shipping the future. That's what they do at APL. That's short for American President Lines.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Is there traffic today? Yeah, there's plenty of it. I'm looking at it right now on our traffic gizmo. Told you that things were going to get busy around 4 and 10, and that's exactly what's going on. Expect a slowdown coming out of Zotnia around the bridge and then up to the intersection of 4 and 10. You'll also experience some delays just because moving through the village towards 8, 10, and 16. The first bunch of slowdowns that you're going to get is getting into GCC and the university. The second one will be right around Wendy's as traffic is trying to make it to 8, 10, and 16. 8, 10, and 16, that intersection already starting to busy up all over the north end of town, slowing down at Wai Sang Song, and then through to the intersection of 1 and 3. And if you are at the intersection of 1 and 3 trying to get out of there, it's going to take some time. There's just so many cars can get through that intersection as well. All of the side streets are starting to busy up. North and southbound Marine Corps Drive in front of DPW and the Kmark areas also starting to busy up. Traffic around Navy Hospital beginning to build, and traffic getting into Big Navy in Sumai also building up. It's just drive time, baby. That's all it is. Told you to leave early like yesterday, right? 7:39, that's right now traffic on the point.
It's not too late to celebrate the possibilities with the latest smartphone sale at GTA. We have amazing deals on the best Samsung smartphones, including the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus for only $299, the Galaxy S9 for only $199, and the Galaxy Note 8 for only $149. But these amazing deals won't last much longer, so come into a GTA store today. Conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
Do you still have the movie audio that we played just a few minutes ago at the end of the Kenjo deal? Oh, you absolutely have it? Okay, good.
Considering we're in political season,
Yeah.
that will now be a regular part of the Ray Gibson
Yeah,
show.
leave that in the hotkey area there. It's to anyway from, and don't say anything more about it if you don't mind, because that's going to be the question in our news game. 888-8255 is the telephone number. You can only play, unfortunately, on the telephone, because when you win, I want to be able to hear your voice. Give me the answer to the question. So this is the deal. We got a thing called the news game that we're playing. I was supposed to start on Monday, but I forgot. And I told Michael to remind me Monday. I said, tomorrow, you tell me that we got to do the news game. And Mike forgot. So today we're going to double up. We're going to do lots of news game today. And the first thing in the news game has to do with a sound bite that I played. And I almost want to play the Kenjo piece again to set it up properly. And what the heck, it's my show. So I think I will. Hold on just a second. Let me just cue that video up here for everybody. I don't think I need to play the video, but I gotta snag the audio from the video. Where's that? Where's the guy? It's there when you need it, and then when you start looking at it again, you lose it. Okay, so here's Kenjo from the Coffee with the Candidates episode from the Sorensen Media Group, and
the spirit,
listen, Paul,
and the air, and everything that's gonna set Guam free. Ironically,
Right.
Right.
You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to give you a more holistic view.
Sure.
In life, I think if you're living, you should die. If you're smart, you should get dumb. And if you're poor, you should get rich. And if you're dumb, you should get smart. And if you're dead, you should get alive. So that way you're whole. And when death finds you, there's nothing to kill, because you're already obliterated.
Just that moment of brilliance right there. That's what's going to get him elected. That's what's going to get him elected. So we play that. Mike. You get up now to play the audio. Now that we've heard Ken, the response?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So here's the question in the news game. Today's and up for grabs. We got some great prizes for you, like a daily prize that we're going to give you just for being the correct answer person today in the program. And then on Friday morning. On Friday morning, we're going to take all of the daily winners and put them in a box, and then we'll pull a name. And the winner is going to get a 128 gigabit iPad from Beyond the Box. And now the idea is you would get this iPad and you'd give it to your children, right? Because it's back to school. Or you can use it for yourself. right? The choice is yours. It doesn't matter to me what happens once the iPad is out the door. And this is an upgrade, too, because you might hear a commercial later on. Talks about a 64 gig. Well, somebody came in and bought all the 64s, so we were forced now to double the gigabits that go into this iPad. It's a 128 gig iPad. So here's your question. Name the movie that soundbite came from. That's all I want to know. 888-8255. What was the movie that soundbite came from? And first person to call me up at 888-8255 that can identify it will win the great daily prize and then your setup for the end of the week grand prize drawing for 128 gigabytes worth of what did I say? It was an iPad from Beyond the Box. My name is Ray. What's yours?
Jermaine.
Jermaine. How you doing there, Jermaine? So real quick, what was the name of the movie that soundbite comes from? A little bit louder?
Billy Madison.
Absolutely right, Jermaine. Congratulations to you. I'm going to place you on some kind of hold if I do it right, and then my buddy Michael Knight is going to get some information from you and say things to you that only winners get to hear. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Yes, yes, Ray, it was fun. And you know why it was fun? Because everybody loves the movie Billy Madison. The penguin in the movie Billy Madison.
Never seen it.
So
but now I think I'll check it out.
Want to touch the hiney? Ow! Yeah, it's a great movie. It's one of Adam Sandler's best, if you ask me. So yeah, we're going to put that on Netflix and Hulu a little bit later on, and you can enjoy that movie to pieces. And Jermaine is going to be in the running now for 128 gigs worth of iPad from Beyond the Box and The Point. You want to play another news game? We'll probably get him to end up doing that around 8:30 this morning. I'd like to do it later, but I've got guests coming in. GRMC and a couple of notes on that. GRMC is going to be conducting a forum with all of the gubernatorial candidates here this morning. Actually, it's going to be this afternoon, 3 to 5. And GRMC employees have stacked a bunch of questions up for all of the gubernatorials that are going to be showing up. And we'll ask them specific questions about, their campaigns as it regards health care on Guam. Maybe specifically at GRMC, but the entire systems of care that we have. Maybe some things in there about medicinal marijuana. And this morning in the 9 o'clock hour, we've got your health care friends are going to be in the studio with me. And let me see, who have I had? I had the heart guy, the stent guy from GRMC last month. The month before that, I had the foot doctor in, and absolutely loved that conversation. And today, I have an army of neuro guys coming in. And one of them I will see on a personal basis. So I mean, this is going to be the only reason why I haven't gotten an appointment yet with any of these neuro guys is because they said I needed a referral from my personal physician. And anybody knows me knows I don't get sick. I mean, it's rare that I get sick. I mean, I'm just lucky enough to have a strong constitution, so it generally doesn't happen to me. So when they asked me who my personal physician was, I said, it's Dr. Tom Shea. And Tom said, well, I'll have to examine you. And I'm not sure if I'll enjoy the probing there, Doc. And so, Charlie, we got to find me another personal physician, if that's all right.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so I did want to talk a little bit about the forum that you guys are going to be having before you come into the studio with the neuro guys.
Yes, yes.
So 3 to 5, and who put the questions together?
It's actually the staff from GRMC. So
okay.
The whole reasoning to put this gubernatorial forum together was for our staff, and we are also going to be live streaming for our patients that are admitted into the hospital as well as their visitors. But, you know, we were thinking... No.
Let me just stand on that point because I think that's important. In fact, I'm getting a lot of questions. I am getting questions from Facebook Live members like yourself asking whether it will be live streamed or not. And so the answer is yes, it will be on some kind of live streaming platform. Can we talk a little bit more about that and where people will be able to find it, not just the patients?
It will actually be live streamed on our Facebook.
Okay, so on GRMC's...
Like us on Guam Regional Medical City on Facebook, yes.
Okay, Guam Regional Medical City on Facebook. Like them, follow them, and when the video comes up, you will get a notification that says that we're about to start the forum, so everybody get in place and get ready to watch this. And the great thing is, once it's all done, you can also watch it as a video on demand on Facebook.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's so that part there is straightened out because not everybody is going to be able to make it to the Boca City cafeteria area of GRMC, and you know it's not like you've got. I think your parking lot and ITC building's parking lot are the same size, so
pretty much.
Yeah, so it's you know, everybody try not to come in one car if you have to be at GRMC. Otherwise, watch the thing today. Have all 5 of the gubernatorial candidates confirmed their participation?
Yes, they have. They've all confirmed, and so we're very excited to be able to host this forum.
Will lieutenant governor candidates also be chiming in, or will this solely be the lead members of the team? Because I'm curious as to what some of the thoughts are from people like we don't hear enough from Dave or Alicia or cousin Fred or Tony and Josh. So I'm wondering if they will have an opportunity to take on some of the Q&A.
Oh, well, actually, you know, the Q&A was really geared towards the gubernatorial. However, if any of their partners do show up at the event, we're really gearing this towards the gubernatorial candidates. But if that so happens, of course, you know, if they are able to make it to the forum, they will also possibly have the chance to speak as well.
Now, there might be some out there that think there might be an unfair competitive advantage because Lou Leon Guerrero used to wear the uniform of a nurse once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
You think that she's got any kind of unfair advantage or a little bit of bias from some of the doctors and nurses at GRMC because they all kind of in the same profession?
I don't think so. You know, the reason why we're doing this is because we really need to understand what their platform is in terms of healthcare. Regardless of what, of course, you know, if you do have that background, maybe you might have an edge, but it's interesting to hear what everybody else has. And the questions are coming from the staff themselves. And so this is why it's really important. You know, we hear a lot of things in the other different forums, what they're going to do about the schools, what they're going to do about the community. What we want to know at GRMC is what they're going to do in regards to healthcare. And so this is a different way we're doing the platform because it's very specific in terms of topics.
Right.
And so we're giving all the candidates the opportunity to let us know that part of their platform.
The interesting thing that I think we're going to hear a lot of today is not necessarily responses that are specific to Guam Regional Medical City, but certainly some topics that point to issues that they continue to have at Guam Memorial Hospital. You realize that might occupy a lot of the response time, right?
Right. And again, you know, that is just part of the topic in terms of healthcare. I think one thing that the community needs to understand is that all the hospitals work together, and we are not in competition with each other, and we are in continuous. We work alongside each other because we have to. The hospital itself cannot sustain or be the only hospital to help the entire community, and this is why we were built. We were all built to work collaboratively together and not apart from each other. And of course, that is understandable if that's one of the questions that do arise.
I'm also interested to hear what they've got to say about the lingering protests on health care for government of Guam employees and retirees, and how that may destabilize coming out of the old fiscal year and going into the new fiscal year, and maybe a continuing challenge for the potential leaders of the island into 2019.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up to be one of the questions.
Well, if you want to find out what the questions are going to be all about, then stay near Facebook and become a friend and follow Guam Regional Medical City. And around 2:50, maybe 2:55 or so, you might get a notice that say we're warming up the cameras here and we're about to start the forum. If there are listeners that maybe would like to prompt a question or two, are you still taking questions from folks? Are you still looking for submissions on what might be some things that get overlooked in the health industry from among our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. If you are We may not be able to get it live at that time
Mm-hmm.
because we are opening up. We really have to see. This is the first time GRMC is having a forum like this, so we really need to see how the forum goes and, of course, the participation of our staff. But, of course, the community is welcome to chime in with some questions, and if we're able to get to them, we will. If not, these are things that could be generated for later on if we're able to answer them in the future, or even pass it on to the candidates, letting them know this is what the community is asking.
You can play around with them at their Facebook page, Guam Regional Medical City at Facebook, and good luck this afternoon. And I'll see you a little bit later on this morning with my Neuro guys.
We will be there soon.
All right, looking forward to it. Closing in on 8 o'clock in the morning, that's Charlie Laurent from Guam Regional Medical City filling me in on the big deal. And that was the question was, is it going to be on Facebook Live? You know, anymore, everything should be on Facebook Live. I just say this right now as a blanket statement. I think that forums and hearings and beauty pageants and basketball games and even funerals ought to find their way to Facebook Live, if for no other reason, the generous interaction that can come when we do this. In fact, I want to interact now with some of our people on Facebook Live. Let me say hello.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
And I see Charlie's name there, Ed and Karen Untalan, Vivian Cunningham from over at Morocco, Huffa Chuck Tanner, Denise Legaspi, Lady D is on. There's Big Sister Shelley and Jerry Roberts and Mary Cruz saying, good morning, Ray, and asking whether she needs to transfer her voting district. I don't think it's mandatory for you to do anything like that. And frankly, I wouldn't take the 10 minutes needed to do it myself. Renzo Osborne, Huffa Day, good morning. Dave Elliott is there, and Ryan Sir Nicholas. Ryan's asking me for a copy of the Kenjo piece. He wants me to send him a link to the Kenjo. $5. I'll send it to you for $5. Who else is there? Lasia Casil is on and asking a question. Do you have any plans to interview the candidates that you were going to interview on Saturday at the Micronesia Mall, but we ran out of time? That's a great question, Lasia. And the answer to the question is, do I have any? I have intentions to make a plan, but not until after the primary election. I want to interview the survivors of the primary, just for no other reason, because I don't want to waste too much time on holistic answers on, what was that supposed to be on corruption and crime? That was what he was supposed to be answering?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. It was, remember the Looney Tunes where there's the little Hansel and Gretel character? And,
Hansel, yes.
Yeah, Hansel, Gretel, Hansel, Gretel, at the end of that. Who have we got there? Valerie Lynn Maigi is listening to see if I played the Frank Kill Death Hit piece again. I might. You never know. I got Rafael Marcelli Scambalori there. Mark Colby, the voice of the Guam Major League. Rene Lau is up and checking in this morning. That's a nice. Jeff Pleadwell from over at Pirates Cove. Andre Bainham, who is going to endure another year at Simon Sanchez High School. Neitz is there. with some interesting commentary about our possible future legislators. Chris Shelton, Evan Montville Cohen, yes, that one. Yoich Rengil, Sherry Diffentorum, Jermaine Alerta, Jermaine. Oh, and Jermaine was the one that won. That was him. Son of a gun. Congratulations to you. Brad Wood is there. Carl Fukuda, Paulie Bloss, Cox there. And Paris Mendiola Bloss will always have Paris. Isn't that nice? 7:58 and change. Jermaine, also the first guy on the page number 8 in the Election 18 primer on candidates that you will find in today's Guam Daily Post. Jermaine is there. Celestine Babauta is there. My neighbor Sabina Perez is in there as well, talking about some of the social ills that we've got to cure in this town. Ken Joad, a little bit more coherent in his responses on what the top 3 issues are. There's Alfredo Antolin Jr. and Ryan Calvo. And I got to tell you, I was able to interview Ryan at the Micronesia Mall get-together, and I had to tell you, I thought he was an interesting guy, and maybe one of those people that I'll give a little bit of extra consideration and the possibility of a vote for in this upcoming primary, just because I thought, you know what, Ryan might end up being something of a disruptor in there.
He was Mr. Energy, wasn't he?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty interesting, and interesting is always good. Carl Fukuda letting me know there's a fender bender southbound in the back road just before Hawaiian Rock. Okay, we'll keep an eye on Route 15, as a matter of fact. I'm not seeing anything that is beginning to surge up in that direction yet, but you know, depending on the nature of the fender bender and whether it closes down a section of the roadway, I am seeing a lot of traffic crowding around 8, 10, and 16 right now. The intersection that takes you into GCC and the University of Guam is snagged. We've got a couple of spots on Route 4 between the intersection of 4 and 10 and Ordot and Mangilau side. So watch out for some of the slowdowns there. It's just bad traffic, kids. 8 o'clock in the morning. We're KUSG Gutnia, 93.3 FM. This is The Point, and I'll be back with you in just a little tiny bits.
Fighting back. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders says President Trump was just defending himself when he called former aide Omarosa Manigault Newman a lowlife and a dog in a tweet.
I think the president is certainly voicing his frustration with the fact that this person has shown a complete lack of integrity, particularly by the actions following her time here at the White House.
President Trump's critics called the remarks racist. Sanders didn't say if the White House would pursue legal action against Omarosa, but the Trump campaign has filed an arbitration claim against her, arguing she violated a non-disclosure agreement she signed when she joined the campaign in 2016. In an interview, Omarosa tells the AP she will not be silenced. President Trump's former campaign manager not taking the stand in his fraud trial.
Paul Manafort won't testify at his trial, and neither will any defense witnesses. Attorney Kevin Downing telling reporters outside the federal courthouse.
I believe the government has failed to meet their burden of proof, and we've rested on that.
Prosecutors spent 2 weeks laying out their case, calling on witnesses to describe offshore accounts and loan applications, all designed, they say, to hide millions of dollars of income from the IRS. Closing arguments are scheduled for tomorrow.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. A grand jury in Pennsylvania just releasing a blistering report accusing 300 priests of abusing over 1,000 children over a period of 7 decades and of a systematic cover-up.
The impact, especially when kept secret, lasts a lifetime. The time of telling these victims to keep their truth to themselves has ended.
Attorney General Josh Shapiro, the identities of the clergy accused remain sealed by the court. Wall Street at the close. The Dow gained 112, the Nasdaq up 51, the S&P jumped 18. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco, 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Our workforce is changing, and our students need to be prepared for the challenges that are ahead. I graduated high school at GCC when we could learn a trade and even prepare for college. Our students deserve schools that are safe and books and resources that help prepare them for their future.
A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will rebuild Simon Sanchez, fix our schools, integrate technology in the classroom, and expand access to trades. I'm in to help get us there, and we humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Tensions between the U.S. and Turkey remain high as Turkey refuses to release an American pastor being held there since 2016.
A top U.S. diplomat in Turkey met Tuesday with Pastor Andrew Brunson. Turkey's detained Pastor Brunson for nearly 2 years following a coup attempt there. The U.S. has demanded his release. This month, the Trump administration sanctioned 2 top Turkish officials and doubled tariff rates on Turkish steel and aluminum products, as Turkey has failed to release Brunson. In response, Turkey's president has encouraged Turks to boycott American electronics, specifically iPhones. This week, the Turkish lira hit an all-time low against the U.S. dollar, falling more than 40% over the past year. It's recovered somewhat today.
Fox's Rich Edson at the State Department. A coffee chain branches out.
Starbucks is getting into the plant-based protein business and is introducing a protein-blended cold brew line in almond and cacao flavors, which is available from now till the fall. The non-dairy drinks are made from pea and brown rice protein. Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson says many customers are gravitating towards plant-based beverages and proteins. The new beverage is made with almond milk, almond butter, and 12 grams of plant-based protein with no refined sugar and contains 270 calories. The new drinks, which are an extension of the chain's cold brew line, will cost around $5.95, and customers can also add a whole banana, more protein, or coffee for an extra boost. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
2 laptops actress Sean Young was accused of stealing from a movie production company that fired her were returned after the director urged her to please turn herself in to the police. Young tells the New York Daily News producers had attempted to a publicity stunt for the film over the missing laptops. Timothy Hines, who took over from Young as director, walked out of Young's attorney's office with the laptops that contain production plans that he calls irreplaceable. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K premium coffee, any size, and after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A Guam Police Department officer is behind bars after he was accused of driving under the influence when he crashed an official vehicle, resulting in multiple injuries. 52-year-old officer Dennis Santos was arrested yesterday on allegations that he was driving while impaired with a child on board, causing injuries, disobeying a red light, failure to wear a seatbelt, and official misconduct. Santos was off duty at the time he crashed an official police vehicle into another car just after midnight July 4th on Marine Corps Drive near the Kmart. He was hospitalized for his injuries, and the occupants of the other vehicle were also hospitalized for their injuries. Police have not disclosed Santos's blood alcohol level at the time of the crash. An internal affairs investigation of the incident is still ongoing at the Guam Police Department. 4 Taiwanese women who came to Guam on tourist visas are now facing allegations of visa fraud after they were found working as hostesses at a Tamuning lounge. Yushin Chang, Yi Ying Lin, Chao En Wang, and Yi Jung Guo came to Guam in June and July of this year as tourists under the Visa Waiver Program. A criminal complaint was filed in Guam District Court accusing the women of failing to disclose that they intended to illegally work as hostesses at the Wild Orchid Tavern. According to court documents, an undercover agent with Homeland Security bought drinks from the women, paying $20 for each drink. The women completed an online visa waiver application stating that they were not seeking employment and were only here as tourists. The women are scheduled to make an initial appearance today in the District Court of Guam. More news after this.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Department of Administration Director Edward Byrne telling Rotary Club members yesterday that the budget bill passed by lawmakers over the weekend contains some fairly difficult assumptions. There's an assumption that we may get revenues when we may not, he said. If that happens, some services are going to be curtailed. Byrne spoke during the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay meeting yesterday at the Pacific Star. The budget bill counts on an additional $10 million in Section 30 funds, which the administration is yet to receive. It also is dependent on full payment of the remaining $9.4 million in tax amnesty funds pledged by delinquent taxpayers who may or may not deliver the balance of what they owe by the September 5th deadline. During the budget debate, Byrne observed that some lawmakers tried to force change by introducing amendments that would force the government to make collections or others that would force the government to make savings. You can't force change, he said. If you decide to change and reduce the scope of government, don't expect it to be done overnight. He said, plan it and expect to do the change over the course of years. Today is the last day to register for the primary election. If you want to cast a ballot in the August 25th primary, you have until 8 o'clock tonight to register at the Guam Election Commission office in the GCIC building in Agana or at any of the mayor's offices, except for the Agana mayor's office. As of August 13th, the number of registered voters was just over 53,000, a 12-year high. As expected, the island's most populous villages have the most registered voters. Dededo with 12,609 registered voters, Jigo with 5,672, and Tamuning with 4,120 registered voters. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with the weather.
It's going to be hot today. That was what we were telling you about in the weather forecast. But the thing is, it's going to be hot in between thunderstorms. And we already had some pretty decent thunderstorms last night. And Lady D saying that she could tell it was bad because virtually every animal in her house wanted to sleep with her in the bed to get away from the thunder and the lightning noise.
Yeah, it seems
out
like
there.
the south side of the island really been getting hit lately with these strong thunderstorms. And that's because the disturbance is south of us. So, it gets a little stronger down there. They just got hit with a round of rain. As a matter of fact, taking a look at radar, and looks like the rest of Guam going to get a little taste of rain, too. And the thing about these showers, they're moving quickly, so they don't hang around long, but as they move over the island, because the wind is flowing at such a decent clip, you get some of that lifting, especially down south over the mountains. And so that's why it seems like those down south, they get all yellow and orange.
Why is the wind coming from that direction? That's up in the northwest.
That is a counterclockwise circulation around this tropical disturbance to our southeast. So that's down to the lower right, and that counterclockwise brings that northeast flow. This is going to continue, and really as the heat of the day starts to build up, these showers are going to get bigger before they hit us, and we'll we'll have more of that thunder and lightning later on this evening, like we did last night.
That's the way it's going to be looking. We'll take a quick look at the satellite imagery, and it will show that mess of weather that the National Weather Service was talking about, moving between Chuuk and Yap, so it'll pass south of the Mariana Islands eventually.
Yeah, the technological meteorological term for that is hot mess.
Hot mess. Thanks, appreciate that. 8:13, that's news and weather together right here on The Point.
Half a day. This is Jerry Gutierrez. Many remember how committed Carl has been to helping our people during times of hardship, disaster, and financial crisis throughout his years of public service. For Carl, it has always been about people helping people. He would like this opportunity to work on your behalf once again as your governor. I humbly ask for your vote for the Gutierrez-Bordallo team on August 25th. Together, let's make Guam again.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Team Sunshine 2018, Roy P. Duenas, Treasurer.
It's 8:14. Did they do something with that person's voice at the end of it? It's a little bit, it's a chipmunk at the end of that spot. That's because when we say 30 seconds, we mean 30 seconds. 8:14 in the morning, and enough time to tell you that King's Restaurant is serving local lunch favorites every day. Salisbury steak on Monday. I got biscuit tomorrow, Tuesdays. Wednesdays, today, pork synagogue. Tomorrow, make plans for meatloaf, and then Friday, beef tanak. They've also got the pick 2 or pick 3 combos waiting for you. Lunchtime, crazy lunchtimes at King's.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by Security Title, when you absolutely need confidentiality in your real estate transactions.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Oh, I'm in love with this contest they're doing. Win a 2019 Lexus ES350 and support the Red Cross. Raffle tickets are on sale at Atkins Kroll. Drawing is September 22nd. You don't have to be there to win. What's the matter, Mike? You just completely, you're just flummoxed in there. Maybe we'll insert the next commercial.
I worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
So you love Blake Watson, and you want to get him something for his birthday, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. I know exactly how you feel. So go to Wendy's and get the new Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Great taste. Crispy chicken, bold Buffalo Ranch sauce, and melty cheese. And the best part is Blake is going to love it, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on it because only $1 is $1 for the $1 Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, buddy, 818, Ray Gibson Show, and among my favorite parts of the program. And thanks very much. Just got a picture of myself. No, I'm trying to decide whether I want to put this on the screen.
Go ahead.
I'm wearing my Tommy Hilfiger shorts.
Ooh.
The orange ones.
Ooh, nice.
They're like Home Depot orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Construction orange.
Like that. So I'm trying to decide
Garfield
what I want to put them on. Because it's got, you can see, look at that. Rocking
Cleveland
Astros orange. Come on, get it.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. You look like a man of leisure in that picture.
Yeah, with my Tommy pants.
Yeah,
these are
nice.
these are the Tommy shorts. I went shopping with my daughter, and we walked into Tommy Hilfiger, and I saw these red pants that and I was goofing with her, and she
Like I'm wearing today?
She started rolling her eyes, and then I saw these orange and canary yellow pants or shorts. And I said, I'm buying those. And she said, I'm leaving. And she turned 13 years old, turns around, and walks out of Tommy Hilfiger.
Nice. I think I saw that on your Facebook. I can feel the breeze from those pictures. That color is almost like Cleveland brown orange.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear letter. Happy birthday to you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
You want to blow out the candle? Oh, me? No, not you, Bert.
You know what my favorite version of Kermit is the late 80s, early 90s Sesame Street when he became the reporter and he put on the trench coat and he had on the hat and he had like the old school microphone.
Yep.
And he was he always reminded me, of like, just an investigative journalist Kermit.
Because all journalists dress like that.
They did then. It seemed like it.
No, they still. I guarantee Kevin Kerrigan still has the trench coat and hat.
I do.
Do you?
I guarantee that he's got the trench coat and.
Yeah, it's got to have the little tag that says press.
Anytime. So, what are you doing for your birthday?
Just hanging out actually with the fam and maybe barbecuing some of my favorites. Just classic short ribs, pork bellies. That's it.
A friend of mine was on Facebook asking about, just looking for somebody to come over. She just, had the craving for short ribs, but she didn't want to actually cook them. So she's like, "Is there anybody here that wants to barbecue for me? Come to my house and barbecue." And I was waiting for the part where she said, "I have beer already."
Yeah, right.
And I would have been there in seconds flat.
I take
because I like to barbecue.
I do too. I like to do that. I assume I'm like you. I take my little Bluetooth speaker and my phone out by the grill, and I got my little cooler out there, and I just I don't even go inside till it's all ready. I got my tunes, got my suds.
So I'm good at barbecuing a few things, but I'm not good at barbecuing some other things like the essentials, like barbecue chicken. So if you like it just black on the outside, but raw and pink and bloody on the inside, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I am that guy. I am that chef. And ribs. I love ribs. I love the preparation. I love the laying out of it. You got the sauces, and some rubs every once in a while. If I want to do a rub on a rib or something like that, and then I take the ribs, I put them on the grill, and like the sides of it, absolutely perfectly cooked. And then you get to the top part, the top bony part, and again, pink and bloody.
Right, yeah, but black on the outside.
Yeah, but some people apparently don't like that, and I don't understand what it is. Now, did you get anything you wanted for, I realize it's early, 8/21, Blake Watson's birthday, and have you already gotten some gifts?
You know what, I don't want to jinx it, but my mom asked me because I had such a fit, and this is, don't think that even though I'm a grown man, that I'm too spoiled by my mom, but I will say this, it all goes hand in hand with my story. I searched OnBase, of which I can't even get onto myself, but I would have figured it out if they had one. And I searched both the GameStop locations here as well. No one PS4 Pro exists on this island. I was going to buy one for myself for my birthday because I've waited to upgrade.
You can birthday yourself. It's okay.
And I've waited to upgrade. I'm still rocking PS3. I'm not a big gamer, but it's gotten to the point to where I get the HBO subscription and the PS3, even if the HDMI cable, there's some kind of compatibility issue because my TV's 4K.
Yeah.
And so it lags out and kind of short circuit the system. So I need to upgrade finally, and one of my favorite games is going to be released in a month. So I've been looking high and low. And my mom, who was in the Navy stationed in Bahrain, she found one at the NEX there. She goes, were you looking for a regular one or a Pro? So I told her the Pro. So hopefully that's what she gets me for my birthday, and she sends it to me. But I don't know that, so I don't want to jinx it. But I think maybe. So if I get that will be...
She's listening.
Yeah. I don't know if she is or not. But if I do get that, that will be my big and only gift, pretty much.
In my mind, Kevin, this is the same as the government of Guam asking the federal government for $78 million instead of $68 million.
Well, I'm asking...
They just might get it.
But maybe not.
And I guess for the same reason. They just can't find it where they are. So, hey, you guys got some money where you're at, right?
So what games do you play on this PS4?
I actually don't. There's none that I haven't upgraded because I'm not a big gamer. And the couple games I do play, like
then
FIFA.
Wait a second. If you're not a big gamer, why are you going for a Pro PS4?
So the PS3 came out with a game called Red Dead Redemption, which is basically Grand Theft Auto, but in the Old West. And that came out in 2010. And so I have that game, and I've got a FIFA game. And that's really all I play if I play anything. And so the sequel to that game, Red Dead Redemption, finally, after 8 years, is being released, but only on the PS4. So I'm going to play that game, and that'll be a game that I play. And then, I don't know if you know this, but more so now, the PS4, even is, in my opinion, it's better suited for my family because we run Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO.
And they're all in the smart set-top.
Yeah, it's more now a media hub than it is a gaming console for me.
I understand. It had the same thing going with a PlayStation and an Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox Ones are the same. You can do the same thing on them.
And I'm not much of a gamer too, but I love my Tomb Raider. I love me some Tomb Raider. 824. You know what? Let me get this on, and then we can continue with a little bit of the conversation about a different kind of sport. It's time for Sports with Blake. Is that still Rodney on the line? Okay, let me get Rodney, and then we'll get into the sports with it. Got my buddy Rodney Webb on the line. Good morning, Rodney.
Morning, Ray. How are you?
You know what? I'm terrific. How about you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I meant to ring in a few weeks ago when we had the team out there in Japan, but I got caught up.
No problem. Understand. So what are you working on today? You got a big event coming up?
Yeah, Wings are having an open house on Sunday morning from 8:30 to 12:30 at Leo Palace Resort, field number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And any parents with kids age 4 to 17 years who would like to try out our club, welcome to come along, and we'll have refreshments there. We have a swap meet table going on with football equipment. And interestingly, this just kind of came up this week. We'll have an exhibition game with some players from Japan. We're reciprocating, hosting them when we went over there last year with the team.
Awesome.
And although there's only a few players coming out, Islanders are coming out there, and we're going to put a couple of teams together and put on an exhibition match for those guys. So it'll be a fun-filled morning. But, what we're looking for people to come up and just take a look at our training methods, talk to the coaches, see if they'd be interested in joining the Wings football club. And even if they don't, I think they'll have an enjoyable evening, and their kids can have a free training session with the club.
Perfect. Listen, do me a favor, RayGibsonShow@gmail.com, and then we'll put that in the rotation of announcements that we do every day.
Very good. I appreciate that so much.
Not a problem, Rodney. I appreciate your call. Have a great day, and good luck on the deal. What did you think of that?
Thank you.
I think that's good. I was just going to say while I was listening to that, the Wings, they're a very good club. They've been around for a while, got a little storied history, and they're
apparently good enough to go and compete off island.
Yeah, they're one of the big players out there at the GFA Robbie Weber Youth League, which is going to kick up here probably in a matter of weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I was approached by somebody not that long ago, and I think they're still working on it, to do like an online gaming tournament.
What kind of game?
I don't know. No? I have no idea. And that's one of the things where I said be happy to help you along with the promotions and everything.
Right.
But I don't know anything about it. I don't know that I could even MC one of these things. And he says, I'm not sure that you can do that. And I said, why? He says, because you don't trash talk.
Oh.
And I said, I guess because I actually saw one when I was down in Singapore. There was this company that is super involved in putting together the technology that you need to be able to get a bunch of different games being played simultaneously online and then throwing them up on screen.
Like they set the rows with the chairs and all that.
And having commentary for some of the bigger games that are being played, and having all of this either streamed to the internet or streamed to Facebook or streamed to YouTube or whatever. I mean, some serious technology that is going behind this, because it is an up-and-coming sport event.
Esports, yes. There are several little like professional e-gamers who are popping up everywhere of all different ages. And, they're making millions upon millions a year just playing video games. And the reason I ask is because It can be all kinds of. There are ones who make millions in fighting games, like Street Fighter, like combat games.
Yeah.
Then there's some that like do it in like wartime, kind of Call of Duty type games, or Counter Strike. Which it's a pretty primitive computer game. Not even Counter Strike's not even on a console at all. So there are different types, because like one guy may be really good at running around shooting people and capturing the flag, but he's really terrible at fighting. Like this like a Mortal Kombat type game.
But the fun
or even
part,
Madden tournaments.
But
There's
the
Madden
fun
tournaments.
would be the trash talking.
Oh yeah,
you got the commentators. I mean, the trash talking between the competitors to begin with.
It's really funny.
But then you've got the higher end kind of annotators here. I'd like to see something like that happen with golf.
That one, just like in Happy Gilmore. Remember, Happy Gilmore kind of had a little flair to that. What's really funny, sometimes I get into late night rabbit holes on YouTube, these wormholes, and one of my favorite things to search is gamer freakouts, because it's actually like these little regional tournaments and these little like local tournaments of gamers playing. Some of them just stand up and scream, and of course they're wearing like headsets too, so they're just sitting there. It's all silent around them, and they just bust out screaming like a maniac. It's really funny to watch. They get really into the e-games.
Speaking of maniacs, I want to play that Kenjo video again.
I really wanted to pass this on to you.
Have you played that on your side yet? Have you played the Kenjo video? It's about 55 seconds.
No,
I'll send it to you.
Is that the cow?
Give me $5. I'll send it to you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I will. Okay. Cleveland Brown fans, Ray, I thought of you when I read this story, because if you were a Cleveland Brown,
can't imagine why.
Well, you're short color, and also if you were a fan, I don't believe you would be on board with what they did. Now, here's the thing: in 2016, they were. Let's see here. 2016, the Browns were 1-15. They only won one game in the entire season. That was 2016. Last year, they were 0-16. They didn't win a single game. So Bud Light backed up a Cleveland Brown like beer cooler, like you see at the bars, a brand new one. It's all decked out in their colors. Bud Light made it for them, but then Bud Light quickly put a padlock and a giant chain all the way around it, and they said, "We won't open it, Cleveland fans, until your team wins a game."
Oh my God!
So, and they even said, and if the beer goes stale, because it takes a month for you to do so, we'll replace it for free. So they padlocked the beer cooler because they've been so terrible, and they left it at the stadium, and they said, "We're not opening it up until y'all win a game." There's about 3,000 beers, something like that, they got in there.
Now, we could do the same thing with the GML, right? I mean, wasn't there a team that didn't win anything?
Yeah, I think the Nationals, Junior Nationals, maybe, or the Expos,
so
one of those two.
We got to do something like that. I mean, you want to talk about incentive. That's all I'm saying. It's a great incentive. No, what I've been watching is the Miami thing with it's turned into a political deal because the Miami guys aren't. I guess the Dolphins, right? They wanted to invite police officers in early, the responders in for a bunch of free games, and the responders are like, "Well, wait, hold on a second. We're the same people that your guys are protesting,
right?
And so you can keep your free tickets." And then it made it even worse when the cops came out and said, and in fact, we don't really want anybody going to watch them until they have figured out what it is that they're going to be doing about these protesting athletes.
Their anthem stance. Jerry Jones said the same thing. He took a little bit different turn, though. He told everybody, the media included, that, hey, all of my guys, they're going to stand. They are expected hand over heart, toe on the line. And then the next day in training camp, when the anthem was playing, he was wearing a cap, a hat. He didn't take his hat off. And so the media asked him. Of course, he had no comment, But yeah, so he can sit there and say, "Hey, I want my guys hand over heart, toe on the line." But hey, Jerry, weren't you wearing a hat during the anthem? Yeah. We're not going to talk about that.
No.
We're not going to talk about that.
They've got to figure it out. They've absolutely got to figure it out. Hey, it's 8:32 in the morning. I got to let you run.
All right, I got to get out of here.
I thought you might, and yeah, I'll send you the Kenjo piece because I think that needs to be played on Star.
Please do.
101 as well. I think that's a whole lot of fun.
Good toys over there.
I know you've got the same stuff as I got. It's 8:32 in the morning. That's Blake Watson. Headlines brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Coming up next.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Doctors, I got doctors coming in. They're from GRMC. They're neuro guys. And they're here in the nick of time because I'm going to get me a drive-by. What do they call it? No, I saw somebody else for that. They're not plastic surgeons. But I'm going to get me a drive-by, what do you call it? I think I got a pinched nerve. You don't know, drive-by referral. You know why I think I got it? For exactly this reason, because I've got Mike over on this side, exactly 90 degrees away from
blame
12
it on
o'clock.
us. That's it.
And I got Kevin on this side. So when I want to look at Kevin, I got to, crank
You
my
don't
head
watch
this way.
many tennis matches, do you?
No, I actually not anymore these days. So I'm going to ask these guys about, is it possible I get a pinched nerve? And hopefully they say, yeah, it's either pinched nerve or AIDS. Which one do you want here? We can treat both. It's 8:34 and time for headlines brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, attorney Delia Lujan Wolf, who represents most of the plaintiffs in the sexual abuse cases against the Catholic Church, has questioned the credibility of the Archdiocese of Agana after learning that 4 church properties already have been sold or are in the process of being sold without the plaintiff's knowledge. During a status conference in district court yesterday, Wolf said one of the properties, the former Hotel Axion, is now under contract to purchase. The 5-story former hotel in Jonia has been listed for $7.5 million, but Wolf said the offer is less than the listed price. The Epicure building in Agana also has been sold. That's where the Kamalan Caridad thrift store used to be. She complained that the plaintiffs are learning of sales after they've taken place. However, attorney Michael Patterson, the legal counsel for the Archdiocese, told the court that he met with attorney David Lujan, who's also representing the plaintiffs, and Patterson said he informed Lujan about the sale of church properties. The new school year for more than 30,000 Guam Public School students got off to a relatively smooth start yesterday. There were some issues with malfunctioning air conditioners at some schools. Parts were replaced at Benavente Middle, Southern High School, and Simon Sanchez High School. Superintendent John Fernandez said air conditioning has been the biggest issue leading up to the opening of schools yesterday. Repairs are usually easy to address, however. He said they'll be monitoring that issue in the weeks ahead. Another issue is the shortage of substitute teachers. The hiring freeze has kept the department from hiring substitutes to cover for teachers when they're absent. There are also some concerns about the lack of manpower to drive all the school buses. Guam DOE's budget for the 2019 fiscal year was cut by about $15 million. Students and staff at Father Duenas Memorial School are praying the rosary at noon every day this week in memory of their late classmate, Xavier Akima. The 15-year-old former student at the school died last weekend after being swept away in a flash flood while hiking with friends at San Carlos Falls. His body was recovered late Monday afternoon following a 3-day search. Guam police released the results of the autopsy yesterday, which concluded that he died from drowning and his death was accidental. Archdiocese spokesman Tony Diaz said masses are being held for Xavier at the Our Lady of Lourdes Parish in Jigo at 6:30 p.m. weeknights and 7 in the evening this Saturday, 6 in the evening on Sunday. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Before I get to the brought to you buys, here a note from Officer Paul Powell of the Guam Police Department. May I kindly ask if your traffic reporters can throw in a PSA for the village of Sinahanya. They've recently installed 4-way stop signs to help address speeding within the village. If we can just remind motorists of the stop signs on Kadzi, Kadzi, Angel Flores Street, AB Wanpat, and Talan Gumadzuus, the road that leads to Bishop Baumgartner. There's 4-way stops now at those places. GPD, I love this, GPD will be out to help educate motorists. We're educating them with traffic tickets. That's what Michael Knight says. So that's the deal. So Angel Flores Street, AB Wanpat, and Talan Gumadzuus are now 4-way intersections, four-way stop intersections. So everybody has to stop when you get to those things, and that's in an effort to prevent the speeding in that part of town. It's 8:37, and that, my friends, is the news brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style.
You've been waiting.
And now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now. Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Don't buy everything, because I still need to go in there and get me some new furniture supplies at Furniture Kathy Style. 8:38 is iConnect time, and they think about practicality all the time. That's why they don't want you paying any more than you need to for things like mobile and internet and push-to-talk plans. They are the practical choice at iConnect.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by MRE. That's Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Millions are making their fortunes in cryptocurrency. How about you? Learn to do it right the first time by coming to our free event at Onward Beach Resort Saturday, August 18th. This is not multi-level marketing. This is pure education. You missed making millions in Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft? Don't miss this. Come learn from the best in the crypto world. Call 671-678-5989 or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Call 671-678-5989. Do it now.
Subway signature wraps deliver crave-worthy sandwiches that are filling and delicious. The wraps loaded with meat and packed with flavor. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital x-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
What I got here is portions of the program also brought to you by APL, that's short for American President Lines.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagutnya at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
What's time for traffic? Second string traffic, actually 20 minutes away from 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, Euro guys from GRMC in the studio. And finally, traffic moving through the intersection at 1 and 3, where GRMC is. Finally working smoothly this morning. Looks like everything is closed up over at Ukadu, and they're now in classroom session. Same thing down here in Upper Tumon, because the John F. Kennedy is finally shut their gates and ready to start educating the kids. Still some problems, though, getting into Route 8, 10, and 16, that intersection. If you're coming in from the post office, expect some delays through there. And if you're heading towards it from Totu area, MTM, then you might expect some delays as well. As traffic starting to build up, people trying to get from Route 8 onto Route 10. 10 is generally clear. Don't see a whole lot happening there unless you're talking about traffic trying to get to the intersection of 4 and 10. And then traffic getting into the downtown Hagutnya area from both sides, from the Route 8 side and then the Route 7A side. You'll see a little bit of extra traffic. They're moving pretty quick, but there's just lots of cars. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Howdy, folks! Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Yeah, buddy.
I
never, ever, ever want to do anything but be here on the radio with you. This is the only thing I want to do ever in my whole life. And I tell you why. This has been just an entertaining morning here. I don't think we've actually penetrated into any decent news stories other than just a little bit of political gossip. The Ken Joe Adda audio has just been a delight to work with here this morning. And I appreciate the Coffee with the Candidates program that they run over at the Sorensen Media Group, if for no other reason because it gives rich opportunities for people that are running for some kind of elected office to fulfill some desire to be of public service, to really just open wide their mouth and shove their foots just all the way in. Just all the way in. And then the video goes wide. Of course, there's other video that we've been playing around with this morning as well, is the Kill Death hit piece on Frank Uggan Jr. and a story that goes back to when he lost the election for lieutenant governor. And you know what? And maybe I ought to make this a news quiz question. Who was he running with at the time? He has run twice for lieutenant governor and lost both times. Ooh. And so that would be, in my mind, a very interesting question. And there might be, now I'm trying to remember, was this the time that he ran with you, Gov?
Yeah, we ran in 2010.
Okay, so then this was the election. So he lost the election and lost his seat at the legislature and had to figure out what to do with the lapsed funds. And so he gave it to somebody, and they ended up hiring his son. And that's the gist of the controversy.
I haven't seen the video yet, but I don't remember that though.
Well, yeah, and so somebody dug up the video of the audio I had conducted when I was at K57. I had conducted an interview with him, and it was pretty pointed about what the bad optics. And I said, it looks like dirty political nepotism to me, and that's where the video piece ends up. But anyway, I'm sure you had nothing to do with that. And somebody sent it to me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think I sounded great. I thought that was a pretty good interview, and they spelled my name right, so I'm happy." What's going on? What's up?
Well, I'm going to take a look at it when I get done with my meeting. But the reason why I called, and I really don't, because you guys were having fun on a nephew of mine, but I think you're and I don't want to be a damper on people having fun, but I think you guys might be looking at it a little different. The situation is, did you listen to what the question was?
Yeah, it had to do with crime and corruption, and then he goes into this holistic piece. It sounds like.
He's running for a Republican. He's running for a Republican, and that I don't, and he wanted to avoid answering that question. Why would he want to get into the corruption part about, the party that's going to be backing him up? So I think as smart as he is a smart guy, he's a very respectful guy, and he just did not want to get into that kind of conversation. The way I read it, he's got a master's degree, so I think he's smarter than what people make him out to be.
I appreciate that. Let me just cut through some of because I want to make sure I'm getting the right piece here. You believe that he is running as a Republican and did not want to, in the context of the interview question about corruption and crime, talk about his Republican backers that are involved in corruption and crime.
Possibly, that's the way I took it. Yeah, and he just got out of there like confusing the interviewer. He never came back to ask him a follow-up question.
No, I would have thrown to the break. I would have just, at that point, I would have just, there's nothing that you can add to that. And a sharp interviewer, sharp guy, sharp reporter has to know when you've already got the line, when you've already got the punchline on something, it's best to just back away from it. Just step away from the microphone. We'll be right back, and just leave the audience with that lingering sense of what the hell did I just hear?
You know how to do that, but I believe that Ken Joe, as smart as he is, ducked out of that one, and people are reading it the wrong way. It's a smart guy.
And I appreciate your interpretation of that, and it is possible. Although I suppose there should have been another way that he did that, because otherwise he gets into this rambling thing, and it's got that noise like just. I don't know. I don't know how to adequately describe it without a lawsuit. So
he's got a pure soul, just so respectful.
Oh, yes.
And, that's the best way for him to go out. And I think that's his learning process, and that's how he wants to just, I want peace with everybody, and let's just move forward. And I don't want to get involved with this controversial issues right now. And I believe that's the way I read him, because that's the way a person he is.
This is what I'll do, because I don't know that I agree or disagree with what you're pointing out here. This is what I'd like to do. I'd like to play the audio and the video again for our viewers with that thinking in mind. With what the question was that Paulie asked him about crime and corruption. Look at it from Uncle Carl's perspective here, and what Kenjo is trying to do is avoid a direct answer because of his tightness with the Republican Party. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to play it now for all of our listeners. Uncle Carl on the radio this morning, and Kenjo's uncle, my uncle, coming to his defense and saying that's what it is. So I will play the deal again and put it into the same context that Carl Gutierrez says. He's trying to avoid the question on crime and corruption. So once again, and I'm going to say it because they put the watermark on it. So it was the property of the Sorensen Media Group as we play this audio piece here.
The spirit and the air and everything that's going to set Guam free, ironically.
Right. You're talking about good people doing bad things, bad people doing good things.
Yes.
Care to speak on some of the corruption stories that are in the news as far as government corruption?
I'll try to give you a more holistic view.
Sure.
In life, I think if you're living, you should die. If you're smart, you should get dumb. And if you're poor, you should get rich. And if you're dumb, you should get smart. And if you're dead, you should get alive. So that way you're whole. And when death finds you, there's nothing to kill because you're already obliterated.
We don't know what the response of young Paulie Subo was after the conclusion of Kenjo's statement there. We may surmise it might have sounded like this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I love that. I love that. So what do we get to play around with now, huh? Having heard that, do you agree? Do you agree that that's what was going on? Is Carl Gutierrez right in this case? Is that exactly what happened? Is his read dead on? That's what Kenjo was trying to do, was trying to avoid angering or alienating any of the members of the Republican Party. And if that was the case, teaching moment, I'm just going to say, just a teaching moment. If it was the case, is that right or wrong? I mean, I thought it was a pretty direct question, and it's top of mind with many voters out there. You talk to them about what they consider to be the big issues. Corruption is among them. Now, we can agree and disagree on whether or not there is corruption on Guam. I believe that there is. I think it's corruption, and many have disagreed with it. Called the radio station and disagreed with me and said, no, it's not corruption. They're just incompetent. And I don't know which is worse. If somebody has got sticky fingers or you're just that dumb.
Oh, I mean, I'd rather have someone that's just guilty of not being able to do the job rather than have someone in there that's trying to get by on people by having the job.
Yeah. Nick's point on Facebook Live, why not simply say, I would rather not comment at this time? And maybe that would have been the better response. I'd rather not comment. But the thing is, you're running for public office. You better have an answer to that. You better have an answer and say, yeah, this is. I think there is corruption. I think it's small scale corruption. If you're dead set against angering or alienating somebody that might be in your same party that you know for a fact is dirty, if you're worried about alienating them, then maybe there are ways that you can use the magic power of words to tamper it down. Huh? It's done all the time. I'm good at it. I know how to put words to work. That's my job. And so maybe there's a way that he should have answered that. I mean, there's the reporters will ask about a variety of things. We'll ask about GMH. We'll ask about the so-called fiscal crisis. We'll ask about the budget process. We'll ask about many of the same issues that people are talking about. Is there corruption on Guam? How do you address that? How will you address that as a member of the 35th Guam legislature?
The short version, Zen Reed. of what he said is those folks got to change.
Ken Williams says, my brain hurts now. How do I bleach that out? Tell you what, I know how to bleach it out. This is what we'll do. We're going to change the subject and play another exciting round of the Ray Gibson News Quiz. And you'll ask yourself, how does he do it? How is it possible that Ray can take just a general old news story and turn it into something fun and exciting like the Ray Gibson News Quiz? You know why? Because I'm that good. How good am I? I am so good that whoever hates Frank Uggan Jr. is going back 7 years to find audio of me having a conversation with Frank Uggan to give him a hard time. I mean, that's a special kind of hate. That's a special kind of hateful obsession that somebody's got to have. One of these days down the road, he's going to run for governor, and I want to be able to torpedo that. Oh, look, he was on the breakfast show with Ray Gibson. Snag that audio and just hold it. Just hold it. Keep it there on the side. Huh?
I wouldn't be surprised if they called Sorensen and had them dig it up.
Could be. Hey, do you still have? But to even remember that, to even remember that it was an issue. This is 2011, guys. This is after he'd run and lost with Carl Gutierrez for another shot at the governor's palace. So I mean, that's, like I said, it's a special kind of wow. Okay, where are we now? So here's the news quiz. I'm sorry, I've been deep in my own thing here today. Page 4 on the Guam Daily Post. Church starts selling assets. Plaintiffs question transparency. And one of the things, I was very interested to read this. One of the things that they were talking about is the 3 church properties already have been sold. These properties apparently include the Epicure building in Hagåtña. And you're new around here. You won't remember the Epicure building. But there was a time that everybody in Hagåtña ate lunch at the Epicure building at least once a week. At least once. We'd go there for dinner. We'd go there for dinner because they had the best blank. What kind of restaurant was in the Epicure building all of those years ago? 888-8255. What did they serve in the Epicure building all of those years ago? Come on, you remember? We used to all go there. It was crazy.
By the way, I want to hereby officially declare the answer food as non-legitimate.
Right. Food is, you can't just call it, what kind of food is what I'm asking you. Come on, the Epicure building in Hagåtña. It's right across, it's on the same side of the street as McDonald's and across from Wendy's and the yogurt place. That's the building I'm talking about. And like I said, everybody ate there. We'd go there at least once a week. Sometimes I'd go there for lunch and then we'd go for dinner again, right? Me and the first wife. Yo, my name is, wait, I got to do this one. My name is Ray. What's yours?
My name is Ray also.
Hey, how'd you get so lucky?
I don't know. I hesitated. Actually, I wasn't going to answer your question. I just wanted to find out who was that person that spoke about the, in the clouds.
And that's former Mayor Ken Joada.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, running for office. So do you want to answer the question?
Yeah, sushi.
Yes. Yes. The Epicure had this sushi bar. Oh, my God, that was... what great memories that I have got of that place. I remember exactly where we used to sit. We'd just kind of roll in there and goof and have a good time and kill an afternoon's worth of lunch. That was just a terrific time. And like I said, we'd go back for dinner. And then they closed. Do you remember? Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course I remember waiting. But it broke my...
In the beginning, the name kind of threw me off because I'm thinking nails, right? Epicure. There's a beauty salon with the name Epicure, and I'm thinking that's where you go to get your nails done.
Yep. But man, the food was fantastic. I thought the service was great, and we'd go there. Like I said, lunchtime, dinner time, and then they closed and it broke my heart. That was a great place. And so I'm wondering now what the new owners are going to do with it.
I don't know. Maybe they should, do it again.
I don't know. There's while I'm thinking about it, I was going to say we need a great sushi place in Hagåtña, but I like Sushi Rock. I've never been unsatisfied with the meal over at Sushi Rock, so I guess that could be the replacement. And then you got the Tokyo Mart right behind them. at Agana Shopping Center. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Does the Rotary Sushi still exist?
down in Tumon, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's they were in competition at one time. Both of them were like,
Oh, well, hands down. I mean, if somebody says, "Well, let's go for a sushi dinner," I mean, for real sushi, yeah, we're going to Rotary Sushi.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of the family spot because you can buy beer in the big bottles. There.
Yeah, I went there the other night.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Nice spot.
Isn't that nice? Hey, Ray, do me a favor. I'm going to put you on hold, and then my friend Michael Knight is going to answer the questions that you're going to have about the prize that you just won. It's a great daily prize. And then on Friday, after we do like another 3 of these contests with the Ray Gibson News quiz with the questions and answers ripped from today's headlines, then we'll give up a 128 gig iPad from Beyond the Box. That's the big prize that we're giving away. I actually got a couple of them, and the idea is that these are back-to-school prizes. So if you win, identify a young person in your life, and you can define young any way you want to. As the lucky recipient of this, or keep it for yourself. I don't care. I'm not one of those kind of guys that pay much attention to it. We're closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning, and just enough time. As I said, I got neurologists that are coming in, and so I've got a bunch of questions that are stacked up for them. Exactly, what is neurology? I mean, there's part of me that says, from watching TV, that's the guy you call when somebody's got something happen to their brain. But it's a lot more than that, and it covers a little bit more of your body than just your head. Cousin Tedo says to defend Ken. He's telling a reporter, don't ask a smart, stupid question when we all know the answer. You think I'm stupid to answer that? Day. He's being Chamorro and having fun. Okay. I appreciate that thought as well. 888-8255. You got some thoughts about the neurologist or questions for him? Help me out with that. Otherwise, hit me up on Facebook Live or send me questions and maybe your answers at 888-8255. The WhatsApp number is 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Looking forward to hearing from you in any event. Traffic getting into 810 and 16 off Route 16 by the post office is still in suck. And for whatever reason, we've got suckage in front of Navy Hospital. And there's suckage coming out on EPAL Road, from EPAL Road onto Marine Corps Drive. A bunch of places where things are just moving crazy slow today. Stand by for Fox News Live.
A shocking report. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A Pennsylvania grand jury finding on clergy sex abuse falls Cardinal Joseph Wuerl, the former longtime bishop of the Pittsburgh Archdiocese, over his handling of abusive priests, saying he approved transfers instead of removing them, oversaw inadequate investigations, and concealed information when priests were investigated by law enforcement.
A 2-year investigation covers every diocese in Pennsylvania except Philadelphia and Altoona Johnstown. The report opens with a statement quoting, "We, the members of the grand jury, need you to hear this. There have been other reports about child sexual abuse within the Catholic Church, but never on this scale." It goes on to say more than 1,000 child victims were identified, but the real number might be in the thousands, mostly boys, some girls, quoting, "all of them raped in some way, all of them brushed aside." For example, one priest admitted assaulting at least a dozen young boys, and the bishop then wrote a letter thanking him for helping God's people.
Fox's Trace Gallagher. He wanted to give her a chance. That's what White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders is saying about the hiring of Omarosa Manigault Newman to work as a White House aide.
He made clear when General Kelly came on, and he voiced concerns that this individual didn't have the best interest of the White House and the president and the country at heart. The president said, do what you can to get along, and if you can't, he gave him full authority to carry out the decision to let her go.
Omarosa is now accusing the president of using racist language, the president firing back, calling her a lowlife and a dog on Twitter. Sanders says the remarks are not racist. She claims the president is just defending himself. The Pentagon saying Defense Secretary Jim Mattis's public affairs chief is being investigated after allegations she misused her authority and her staff for personal business. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin,
Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, Prime Loco Moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
The first court appearance for the white Florida man charged in the death of an unarmed black man in a stand your ground case.
Michael Draka appeared via video link for his initial hearing and now has his bond set.
Sir, you're charged with manslaughter with a firearm. The bond amount is $100,000.
Draka shot Marquise McLaughlin at a convenience store after an apparent parking dispute. Draka was not charged at first by the Pinellas County Sheriff, citing the Florida law allowing use of force to defend oneself. The victim's girlfriend, Brittany Jacobs, says she still has yet to explain to McLaughlin's kids what's happened. A trial has not yet been scheduled. McLaughlin's family expects a lengthy process. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
3 people on Arkansas expanded Medicaid program suing to prevent the state from enforcing its new requirement that would drop coverage for them and thousands of others if they don't have a job. Arkansas was the first state to implement a Medicaid work requirement. Despite some hinting at hanging it up, Tom Brady says his NFL career is far from over.
In his weekly appearance on WEEI Radio in Boston, New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady says he's motivated to keep going in his NFL career.
I certainly expect to be here next year and, hopefully beyond. It's like I said, I have goals to play for a long time.
The 4-time Super Bowl MVP has said previously that he wants to play in the NFL until the age of 45. His current Patriots contract expires at the end of next year. The reigning NFL Most Valuable Player is set to make the start Thursday in preseason action against the Philadelphia Eagles in a rematch of Super Bowl 52. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
A New York judge ruling an aspiring actress can sue Harvey Weinstein for violating sex trafficking laws because the proverbial casting couch could be considered a commercial sex act. Katie and Noble brought the suit against Weinstein last fall. Weinstein denies any wrongdoing. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
Portions of the program are brought to you by the best restaurant in town, as evidenced by the number of people that eat there and the number of years they've been providing meals to everybody. That's King's Restaurant. Find them out in Harmon and Tamuning location, where they are getting ready for your luncheon for today, which is going to be pork sinigang. That's their Wednesday meal. They do a different lunch special every day. Tomorrow is meatloaf, and Friday is beef tinaktak. Or pick a pick 2 or pick 3 combo. Lunch is at King's.
Half a day. This is Jerry Gutierrez. Many remember how committed Carl has been to helping our people during times of hardship, disaster, and financial crisis throughout his years of public service. For Carl, it has always been about people helping people. He would like this opportunity to work on your behalf once again as your governor. I humbly ask for your vote for the Gutierrez-Bordallo team on August 25th. Together, let's make Guam again.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Team Sunshine 2018. Roy P. Duenas, Treasurer.
I am Ray Gibson, and I approve this message. This program is brought to you by MRE, that's Micronesia Renewable Energy.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. take it easy.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sports Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sports Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. On demand at thepoint.gu.
And on Facebook Live. We're doing it on Facebook. You know why? Because it's free. That's why. And one of a couple of things that I want your attention on Facebook Live today. Later on, and you should have done it already, but if you are not already following and liking and friending Guam Regional Medical City, I want you to do all of those things today. It's not like you're going to get a prize or something, and it's not like Camille's going to win the beauty pageant if you do. Because that's the other thing that's going on. We're team, I'm sorry. Yeah, is it Team Camille? I think so. Anyway, so go to Guam Regional Medical City on Facebook, like them, follow them, and then later on you'll get a note that says that that they are online with a live Facebook live feed of their forum of the gubernatorial candidates here today. So that's going to be taking place between 3 and 5. A lot of questions, naturally, talking about health care in general, health with Guam Regional Medical City in particular, systems of care, and that kind of thing. I'm delighted now because we got this portion of the program. You have medical friends and healthy friends with GRMC, and what we're looking for is opportunities to talk to some of the great specialists that they have at GRMC. It's not just, it's not a hospital. You go to a hospital when you've got an emergency or something like that, but maybe you've got problems with your feet, and they got a good foot guy, and maybe you've got problems with your heart, and they've got a guy that will go in and figure out how to clean that out and stick stents in it, and they've got equipment in there that you can launch satellites with at Guam Regional Medical City. And I'm delighted because the folks that I get to interview this morning, and there's 3 of them on this team, they're neuro guys. Is that fair? Is that fair enough? So let me go down the line. I think we got all the microphones that are hot in the studio that need to be hot, and we'll begin to introduce them. I have Dr. Kwasi Yame, who is a neurosurgeon.
Good morning.
Good morning. And the most dapper-dressed guy here in the studio. He's also joined by Dr. Scott Shea, and I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Shea a couple of years ago at a previous location, and I recalled that we had a great time in that conversation.
That we did.
And I'm glad that you're back here. And Dr. Justin Hale, who is a neurologist and sleep specialist, is with me in the studio as well. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Ray.
I'm going to start with you because we're morning guys here at the radio station, and our sleep is necessarily disrupted because we've got to wake up. He wakes up about 3. I'm up off the couch at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and that begins my process, and I take a nap. And I've recently begun wearing a watch that keeps track of my time. And so here's the question. It breaks it down between awake, light sleep, and deep sleep.
Yeah.
What are the distinctions? I mean, I know what awake means, but tell me about light sleep and deep sleep, and how much should I get?
Well, everybody has their own need for different amounts of sleep. There are associations with increased mortality, even with very low amounts of sleep, or very high amounts of sleep. More than 10 hours. If you're sleeping more than 10 hours, it could be an indication of something wrong. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, last time I talked to anybody about sleeping too long, as it turns out, that was a physical response to depression, which will happen from time to time. But and I've known people. Charlie's known folks that have serious, I want to say, sleep apnea problems. That feels like a word that describes a width of different problems, huh?
Well. Yeah, I mean, sleep apnea is kind of bread and butter for what I see in clinic. It's very common. I kind of have gotten the impression that everybody's got it.
Right. Exactly. What's the matter with you?
It's very similar to, I would say it's as common as diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, all those things. They kind of go together, and certainly associated with obesity. But then sometimes some of my sleep apnea patients are not terribly heavy. So if there's snoring, if people are telling you that you stop breathing or gasping awake, if you're tired in the mornings, waking up with dry mouth in the mornings, headaches in the mornings, if you're sleepy during the day. I have a lot of patients that come to me after they've had an automobile accident because they fell asleep on the wheel.
Check mark. People are listening right now going, wait, that's me. I'm just, all of the things that you said is me.
You should get a sleep study then, and it's easy enough to do. And the treatment is, for some people, can really change their lives. It makes them much happier. Of course, some people, when I say treatment, the majority of the time that's the CPAP machine, the mask that you wear over your nose.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But, 50% of people love it, wear it every night. The other 50% of people don't care for it. But
because it's a thing on your face while you're trying to sleep.
But for some people, that's really the thing that helps them. And if for those people who are struggling, for that 50% of people who struggle with the machine, that's why I'm here to kind of help them along.
Can you take pills? Is there a place in the head that you can hit with a hammer that'll help cure it?
Actually, I saw an article recently about a pill that might help some with sleep apnea, but nothing is ready for market.
I know a guy that can be sitting at his desk and you have a conversation with him. 2 minutes later, he's sitting up snoring.
Yeah, that's sleep apnea, most likely. I mean, the other things that would cause people to be severely sleepy might be just not getting enough hours of sleep.
There's that, right? There's that.
You got to make time for it.
So the response is, okay, I caught you sleeping on the job again. You need to drink some coffee. Is coffee a good response for a sleep apnea case? Does it help? Does it hinder?
Well, your body just adapts to that very quickly, so your body gets used to it to where the coffee isn't really helping anymore. So,
I see.
So you got to treat the underlying problem. You got to treat the breathing at night.
No, appreciate that. And if you got questions on that nature or something you wanted to opine about, 888-8255 or on the Facebook Live. Narcoleptic is the word that Albert Eliasson is using. And is that the correct definition there?
Well, narcolepsy is pretty rare. I mean, I have several narcoleptic patients, but it's pretty rare. That's a different thing. Those people also.
What's that symptom? What does that entail?
Well, yeah, narcolepsy is interesting. It's a loss of certain group of neurons in the center of your brain, and it usually comes on in adolescence, in fact, or in children, and they have horrible sleep at night. They're kind of waking up a lot, having lots of dreams. So that there's a problem with they're regulating their dream sleep, their REM sleep. So they'll have REM intrusion into daytime. So they'll start kind of suddenly having kind of hallucinations around them, basically dreams. They're dreaming almost while awake.
This is fascinating.
They'll wake up out of dreams, and the dream is still going on. Of course, when you're dreaming, your body is paralyzing you. You're releasing glycine into your spinal cord to paralyze you. Otherwise, we would be acting out our dreams every night. So people
in my
wake
case,
up.
That would be dangerous. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, it's amazing function that our body does to paralyze us during the dreams, and so. But these people don't regulate that as well, so they'll wake up paralyzed, and while the dream is going on, and lots of interesting.
Back in the olden days, we blame that on the devil.
Sure.
Well, so and so is possessed. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of myths that come from narcolepsy and sleep paralysis episodes. There's an old Greek myth about the incubus that visits you at night and kind of sits on your chest. And a lot of people experience that during REM sleep or during sleep paralysis episodes. They feel like something is on their chest. Because some of the muscles involved in breathing are also paralyzed, and so you don't get those deep breaths. people feel kind of smothered.
It's a fascinating conversation already. I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about lucid dreaming, but before I do that, I wanted to jump into something. Is there such a thing as sleepwalking? A friend of mine had posted a security picture of her walking around the house in the middle of the night, but she doesn't have any recollection of her walking around the house in the middle of the night.
Yes, sleepwalking is definitely exists. And kids do it a lot. I mean, I was asleep over it when I was a kid, and one of my friends got up and started walking around, and I was like, what's going on? So sleepwalking happens. Sometimes medications can. Ambien is a bit famous for that. People can get up and eat and do other things. Sleepwalking.
It's a real thing.
And it comes on more with sleep deprivation too. So if you're burning the candle at both ends, you might be more prone to it.
Well, I nap daily, so I generally get to hit the pillow about 10 o'clock at night and get about 6 hours of sleep in the evening before I wake up, and then I go home at noon and take a nap because that's the way I was raised to enjoy doing something like that. I think naps are important.
Siesta culture around the.
Are you lucid? Can you teach yourself to lucid dream?
You can. There's a guy at Stanford who does a lot of lucid dreaming research, and I actually bought the book, but I never did. I never got into it. I was like, I sleep really well. I don't want to like mess up my sleep by doing this lucid dreaming thing. But yeah, people. In fact, some of my narcoleptic patients will lucid dream. Basically, lucid dreaming is the ability to know that you are dreaming. So you're in a dream, but you know that you're dreaming.
Yep.
And then there's another component of sleep control or dream control where you can actually control, once you now know that you're in a dream, you can now control what's going to happen in that dream. One of my patients said he could dunk from half court.
Yeah. Well, I attempt to it, and when I do, what normally I'm trying to get to is for Beyonce to whisper in my ear, "Your wife said it's okay." That's what I'm trying to take my lucid dreaming to. And another question, I got two other doctors here, and I'll get around to them in a couple of minutes. How about acute insomnia, going in the opposite direction? People that are falling asleep on the job, and the dangers of that kind of thing. What about folks that are in the opposite end and just are unable to sleep at regular times?
Yeah, so insomnia, I mean, there are just a slew of things that could cause insomnia. So, insomnia just means you don't sleep well. So you said acute insomnia. Acute insomnia might be like acute just means anything that's new. So if you just suddenly develop insomnia now, that would be what it would.
No, I think they're using acute in terms of the severity of it. I just can't go to sleep until until after midnight, and you sleep real light. Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, can't go back to bed. That kind of thing.
Well, I would just say going back to the sleep apnea. Sleep apnea can also, not only does it cause daytime sleepiness, but it actually does fragment your sleep. It wakes you up a lot. And then sometimes you have difficulty falling back asleep. A lot of my sleep apnea patients wake up to pee a lot. The mechanism that your brain uses to shut off the faucet basically is not
working, so you
going
get up and
sleep
relieve yourself.
So, sleep, I would always look for sleep apnea, but also circadian disruption. So our body is all our brain is on a clock.
My mother suffered from fibromyalgia, and that was one of the first things that when we talked to doctors about how we're going to deal with it, that was one of the things that they talked about is you've got to get her back on that circadian rhythm. She's got to sleep at night instead of prowling the internet and doing her crafts and hobbies in the middle of the night.
It's difficult for everybody because we live in a 24-hour world now. It used to be when the sun goes down, there's nothing to do except
sleep, make love and eat and sleep.
Maybe poke the campfire or something. But now it's we have access to what's going on in France or whatever, and at 1 in the morning, and so.
Do you take your cell phone into the bedroom with you?
I don't. There's no electronic media in our bedroom.
Yeah,
or the kids.
Because of that reason, it's for sleeping. Yeah. We're going to sleep here in this place. No television, no iPads, none of that stuff, because that's what goes on in there.
Yeah, it's dark. So in our room.
People will ask, why do you have the shutters on the windows? Number one, because it keeps the air conditioning down, and number two, it keeps everything dark.
Very effective. Yes.
Yes. Get yourselves to sleep. Fascinating conversation. That's Jeff Justin Hale, neurologist and sleep specialist over at GRMC. And looking at the time now, 9:21 in the morning. I'm going to move over in another direction here and speak to a neurointerventional radiologist, Dr. Scott Shea. And radiologist, I'm assuming that there is some investigation of my internal parts using some G-Whiz technology.
Correct.
Correct. Tell me all about it. Close on the microphone there.
Yeah. So my field basically deals with fluoroscopy. So I use X-rays to visualize blood vessels supplying the brain, spinal cord.
And then let's talk about that first. I didn't get into the conversation with Dr. Hale on this, but I will with you. When I think of when I see a phrase, a title like neurosurgeon, neurointerventionalist, neurologist, I'm thinking about the confines of my skull. But you guys are a little bit occupy a little bit more of the human body than just the innards of the skull, right?
Correct. So the central nervous system includes the spinal cord. So the spine is also kind of a territory that we focus on. But the majority of my work, unlike my colleague to my right, the neurosurgeon, is the brain.
Okay.
When I say the brain, it's the blood vessels supplying the brain as well as to include the neck arteries, neck vessels.
And you get two of those, right? One over here, one over here?
Correct.
Where did I hear? Somebody told me about a procedure that they were working on with cancer patients, in particular pancreatic cancer, where they would take part of the neck vein and take that out and then replace something that might be tangled up with the pancreatic cancer in the other parts of the body. Are you familiar with the procedure?
No, I'm not.
No. Would you recommend something like that? I mean, they give you two, so I figure one's a spare, right?
Yeah, I would get a second opinion on that. Definitely.
Well, let me get a first opinion, and I don't know how many other folks this might affect, so I'm going to assume that as a neurointerventional radiologist, you might be able to tell me where the problem starts. But I have a thing with my left arm, and it began about a month and a half, 2 months ago to tingle. Right down to the fingertips, and it feels like there's something in my armpit, and it goes, like I said, a little bit of a tingle all the way down to the innards of my fingertips. And the last time I had somebody from GRMC in here, they said that probably has to do with a pinched nerve.
With fingers?
Primarily the middle finger and a little bit of the ring finger. And I was trying to figure out why, and it feels like there's something in my neck all the time, and so that's why I was trying to get I'm supposed to talk to my regular physician about getting a referral to go and see you guys, but the problem is my regular physician is an OBGYN, and he said he'd have to conduct a full-blown examination, and I didn't think I was quite ready for that, you know. Maybe later, Doc. Anyway, so the long story short is I haven't had a chance to come and see you yet. How would you investigate where the problem might be?
Well, to be honest, I would actually refer you to my colleague, the neurosurgeon.
Already?
I wouldn't. Yeah,
you're the radiologist guy. Wouldn't you want to escort me with something and see what lights up?
Well, I think that neuroimaging would be is probably part of your workup. But I would let the neurosurgeon kind of orchestrate that.
Okay.
So he would examine you. But yeah, you'd probably need some imaging of your cervical spine.
Okay, so I wouldn't go and see you directly.
No, not for that. No,
okay. Now, for what would I go and see you directly? Why would I just waking up one day and going, I think I need to see a radiologist for this?
Well, so for an interventional neuroradiologist, the majority of my patients are actually urgent or emergent. But for elective patients to come into clinic, would be, say, someone has a brain aneurysm that was picked up that hasn't bled. It was incidentally discovered from, say, a headache workup, or this patient had trauma and they had to scan the brain to rule out some pathology from the trauma, and then they incidentally discover a brain aneurysm. So those are the patients that get referred to me. If someone has severe narrowing of an artery in the brain picked up incidentally, or in the neck artery supplying the brain, those folks get referred to me for evaluation, workup, and possible therapeutic intervention.
Are you seeing more migraines, more severe migraines?
You know, so the migraineurs go to the colleague on my left.
Are you seeing a lot more migraines? I don't know why. I just seem to be hearing from more and more people that I can't come to work today. I've got a migraine, or I'm seeing a doctor for migraines, things like that. Is there an uptick that you're observing of presentation?
I know I sound like a broken record, but you got to go back to the sleep apnea. You have to make sure that's ruled out. A lot of my migraine patients have sleep apnea.
Huh.
But there could be other sleep problems as well if they're not getting enough sleep. In fact, good message for the adolescents and I've had kids coming in at 5 years old with headaches, and find out that they're going to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock, and they're up on the phones.
Yeah.
It's
my 13-year-old daughter. Yes.
They're not sleeping, and I've cured a lot of pediatric adolescent migraines by just having them put the phone down and getting good sleep.
Excellent advice there. Excellent advice. 888-8255, Facebook Live, and questions and commentary about this excellent neuro team that we've got here. So let me go to Dr. Kwasi Yame, the neurosurgeon. And as I said, maybe the most dapper guy that we've got in the studio this morning. You wear that to work all the time?
Yes, sir.
Does he
much.
win the Best Dressed Award over at GRMC? Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I kind of like that. I'm a Zara guy too. Digging the clothes that you're wearing. Maybe rocking a neurosurgeon motif, right? Because I think on all the television shows, the neurosurgeon is the rock star of the show. Is that necessarily the case with you?
In this case, I'm the more humble, guy in the background. These two really are the stars of the show. I kind of come in, later on, so I'm not the rock star of the show. I'm more like the guy in the background.
Somebody's got to be Top Gun, though. I mean, it's hard enough to become a doctor, and then to specialize as something as compact and I'd say difficult to get to as the brain, and maybe the least understood organ in our body, isn't it?
It is a complicated organ. It controls a lot, but I think it takes a cool-headed individual that has humility, and I think that's why I sort of I'm in the background. I'm not in the forefront because you need to have a lot of self-restraint.
Right. No, so these guys will take in patients, and somebody will take a look at what's happening biologically, operationally with the brain, and then pass it along to you and say that here's the course of treatment we recommend. Or do you work together with them to
typically
determine
we work in conjunction. We're a collaborative team, and so Dr. Hale might see a patient that presents with neurological symptoms, for example, tingling in your fingertips,
yes,
or pain in your neck.
Yes.
He would then do the necessary workup with a CAT scan or an MRI of the cervical spine. He would see a problem there and then refer the patient to me for further management and treatment. He might also see a patient that has a stroke.
So I get this feeling while I'm talking to him, he's looking at me trying to decide where he's going to cut me. How do you reach into that?
We like to do conservative management first before we even get to the surgery. I believe in less surgery, more benefit.
Yes.
But he might see a patient that has a stroke, which is lack of blood flow to the brain. And he may attempt an intervention. And if he's not able to do the intervention for some anatomical reason, he may consult me for my expertise in the surgical arts. And so typically I am the end of the line as far as my expertise.
So and again, my only understanding comes from watching television shows and movies, and usually we call in the neurosurgeon after some dramatic, spectacular accident involving an injury to the head, and you've got to go in there and slice things apart and save the day by releasing pressure or putting pressure on something, and so we get this idea that this is something that happens almost on an urgent basis. But what you're talking about are things that may take months to present and some time to diagnose and take some preliminary treatments on. So I mean, there's the right now path into neurosurgery, and then there's one that goes a little bit longer. Which ones do you see more of?
I see more of the chronic one where the patient has undergone treatment with pain medication, physical therapy, injections using radiology. So that's his specialty. He'll do injections. And if that fails, at that point, I'm consulted to offer a surgical treatment. And then there's the other avenue where is something that is emergent. It needs to be done right away. And so my phone goes in the bedroom at all times
you gotta
because
sleep with your phone.
I need to be contacted. And so my phone is always on the highest volume.
Now, if something like that happens, I mean, do you automatically call these guys in? I mean, is that part of the process, or can you act absent, somebody that is a little bit more clinical and go in and figure out what's going on, just based on what you're seeing on the bed?
My training is 7 years long after medical school. And so I have both a clinical training and a surgical training background. And so I'm able to act independently because you need to make quick decisions on some of these emergent cases. And so if a patient is not doing very well, I will go in and basically act surgically to treat the problem. So a patient comes in with a bleed in the brain, I will go in, do surgery to remove the bleed so that they can have return of function.
When did you start doing medicine? You don't look old enough to have gone through a full-blown medical program and then 7 years into a specialty and then a couple of years now at GRMC. What, did you Doogie Howser or something?
I'm not Doogie Howser, but I am pretty old. I will say that.
All evidence to the contrary, I must say. It's at 9:32 in the morning. We'll call that iConnect time. Swing by iConnect. Very practical people, and they're the ones that have got great prices on your mobile and your internet and your push-to-talk plans. We like push-to-talk. It's kind of like a two-way radio where you can have gangs of people or you can reach just individuals. When you've got to communicate with somebody and you don't have time to wait for the 2 blue check marks, you want push-to-talk, and there's only one place to find it, and that's at iConnect.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Yeah, like Carlotta Leon Guerrero has to say, I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican. Everybody knows. Remember what I was telling you about convertible Republicans, right? And Auntie Lou is going to be over at Guam Regional Medical City along with Carl, and Frank is going to be there, and Ray is going to be there, and Dennis will be there to talk about medicine and health care and systems of care on Guam, and questions will be presented by members of the staff at Guam Regional Medical City. If you cannot be there, they will also be on Facebook Live, and if you cannot watch it on Facebook Live, then watch for the video on demand after it concludes about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Hey, what's the easiest way to get your dose of antioxidant-rich berries? Wendy's Berry Burst Chicken Salad. I had one of these the other day and loved it. Because normally I'm a Caesar guy when I go to Wendy's. But these days, this is good because it's got the strawberries and it's got blueberries, feta cheese, sea-salted toasted almonds, and freshly grilled chicken. Now, I don't like grilled chicken. I like fried chicken. And they got a great spicy chicken sandwich that they do. And I tell them, just take the spicy chicken off the sandwich and put it in a salad, and they'll do that for you. You don't have to be Ray Gibson. They'll do it for anybody. They just do it for me extra because I'm nice. Summer berries are in season at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Portions of the program brought to you by APL. That's short for American President Lines. They are shipping the future.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training, every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
You've heard it. I've heard it. 2 people get into a disagreement, and one of them says, "Look here, facts are facts, and they're indisputable." I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll discuss why even after getting down to facts, we can still be in trouble.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at GuamTraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
Let's go. Let's play here. 9:35, and I like the opportunity when we got doctors in the studio. I like the opportunity to sound like I know what I'm talking about because I watch a lot of TV shows and movies with doctors and scrubs and all of that. Is there a favorite? I might have asked Dr. Shea this question the first time I interviewed you. Is there a favorite medical television show or movie that you can't get enough of? That you go, yeah, that's me. That's totally me.
I don't watch much TV, and so I have to decline that.
Same here. Don't watch much TV.
What is this? Come on, okay. Dr. Haley?
I'm sorry, I have no time. I have no time.
We work for a living. We got one. All right, so one of these days, right? We just get together and we'll binge season 1 of Scrubs. Can we do? These are you guys probably don't even know that's a comedy. Crazy. Anyway, 9:36 in the morning, Guam Regional Medical City, and the incredible neuro team that is with us now. And there is at least one candidate for senator who used the word holistic, and we've played that audio several times here this morning. And as I'm thinking about some of the things that we're talking about, sleep apnea and the not being able to sleep at night, all of those things. And some people say that that's one of those areas where a neurosurgeon would go in and maybe tweak something in the brain as a result of that. But there are other holistic paths that you can go down to provide some kind of relief to that. And maybe a little bit more time on the treatment that you would have people pursue to attack some of these problems before I need to go under the knife.
Sure. I mean, I think as doctors, we're always trying to look at a holistic treatment. We don't, problems are usually not simple. Prevention is key. So I think healthy lifestyle will keep you away from people like the three of us.
And stay in well-lit places, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, daily exercise. I mean, 20 minutes a day of exercise has been shown to be preventive for stroke. You don't have to be running marathons. And eating your fruits and veggies, not too many carbs, staying away from sweets, and plant-based diet, and then good sleep. I mean, that's
suddenly quite aware of my posture.
The sleep is 1/3 of your hours. So that's important.
So I knew there was going to be something in there about diet and exercise, and because it's me, what about alcohol? What are your suggestions about beers and wines and things like that?
Alcohol for at least for stroke, there may be some benefit to it. We think that moderate amounts of alcohol, that means 1 drink per day for a woman, 2 for a man, probably have some protective properties for ischemic stroke, meaning the clogged pipes type of stroke. It may increase your risk of having hemorrhagic stroke, meaning the burst pipe type of stroke.
That's the one that'll take you out like that?
Well, either one can take you out. Both of them are, I would say, equally as serious. But the bleeding type strokes, it may increase the risk of that. Of course, high amounts of alcohol intake, binge drinking, alcoholism, those have just a lot of deleterious effects on your health. And, these people fall down, get head bleeds, and then they have to see Dr. Nyame to, put a hole in the skull. I'm simplifying your work, but, to drain the blood.
Yeah.
So yeah, alcohol is a double-edged sword.
I'm thinking about, and I don't know why I'm stuck on this, but I'm thinking about stress as well. I mean, there are things that are going on mentally that could manifest physically.
Sure. Chronic stress is linked to metabolic syndrome, basically diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, obesity. So if you're chronically stressed, chronically sleep deprived, you have chronic family issues, chronic financial issues. These are associated with chronic disease.
What about sport injuries? You see a lot of those?
Not a whole lot. Occasionally when people get honestly, a lot of concussions don't end up coming to see a neurologist. They just
deal with it.
They deal with it, yeah. But
is it possible that there is a concussion that somebody could have had years ago that might then bring on some problems? I'm trying to, I went skiing. I was up in Niseko, and I was on a snowboard, and apparently I'm no good at snowboard, and I hit the ground really hard, and it rang. I think the term is it rang my bell, and I always wondered whether that was, after a while it stopped hurting, obviously, but I was wondering if that particular injury might one of these days cause me some problems.
It's always hard to say whether some injury is, the cause of something. Sometimes I look at a lot of brain MRIs, and occasionally I'll see a little bit of bleeding there, and when the blood goes away, it leaves a little bit of a iron deposition, and so sometimes I'll see some iron showing up, and I'm like, hey, did you ever hit your head? Oh, yeah.
Car accident or skiing in the second.
Right.
Hit the tree.
And sometimes those things could cause maybe a seizure years down the road. But
well, yeah, because I think about guys in the National Football League over the years, and they take the hit, but they still play and they still collect the $1 billion paychecks, and then at the end, when it's retirement time, all of a sudden they start to have these neurological issues that we presume comes from years of getting your head knocked in and bashed in while you're playing football. And but then those are when the problems start. It's like as they're playing, it's not an issue, but once they retire and get away and get off the field, then they start to experience some of the problems.
Yeah, and so that's a little different than concussion. And I mean, if you get enough concussions, it might trigger this kind of neurodegenerative disorder, very similar to Alzheimer's. That's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So.
The back is a complex thing, and sometimes we're talking about the neurosurgery, neurology, and the whole study of that area. When I first started getting the tingling in my fingers, my first thought wasn't go see a neurologist. My first thought was go see a chiropractor. And so, can you tell me, gentlemen, about your thoughts about dealing with chiropractors or maybe homeopathic medicines or treatment styles? What do you guys think of that?
I didn't train to learn about what is done by chiropractors, and so I don't know exactly what it is they do, but I have patients who tell me that they had neck and back pain, and we see a chiropractor, and after some manipulations, the neck and back pain was much better. And so I know that there's a role for them to take into treatment of back and neck pain. And that's more the conservative management, which includes physical therapy, which includes rest, which includes pain medication. But sometimes the neck pain and back pain may become a serious issue where instead of having just pain, you have weakness and you have loss of sensation. And in that respect, chiropractic manipulations and even physical therapy, I would not recommend because now there's a loss of function. And we need to do the necessary imaging to figure out why there's loss of function, which may require surgical intervention. And so as a board-certified neurosurgeon, what I do is I take care of hand symptoms. So I can do carpal tunnel surgery, I do neck, I also do back, and then I do the brain. And so I'll get the necessary imaging to figure out exactly what is going on. And so if you have a disc herniation, which is causing a pinching of the nerves, I'll see how severe it is. And if you have weakness of the hand, it may require that we need to consider doing surgery. And so that's kind of where I fall into place.
So tell me a little bit about some of the surgical intervention that you can do in the back area. I mean, are there parts of my backbone that you can pull out of course and replace like a Lego part?
So it depends on the problem you're having. Most of the problem is stenosis or closing off of the nerve canals. So the nerves.
I have a friend whose ears just perked up because she's got stenosis. So let's spend some time on that.
Sure. So stenosis comes into two flavors. The first flavor is there's central canal stenosis. Think of the spinal cord as going through a ring of bone. And so if that ring gets closed off by either a disc herniation or bony overgrowth, it pinches that big spinal cord in the middle. What I can do as a neurosurgeon is I can go in and remove that bone that's overgrown or that disc that's herniated or pushing towards the spinal cord. And I can do that from the front by going through the neck very safely, or from the back by going through the back of the neck very safely. If I take off bone to the point where I have to remove stability, meaning that I have to take enough bone that the neck is not stable, I'll put in screws and rods in order to stabilize the spine so that you can go on to move your neck and function normally. Sometimes I can take just enough bone that there is still stability, which means that the bone is still able to hold the structure without me having to put in different instruments.
Well, is it a painful procedure?
Because of the cut that I make, patients will have pain for about 1 or 2 days. But with pain medication, we can control that incisional pain. But once the wound heals, the pain that the patients had before the surgery is completely gone or reduced to the point where they can function normally.
Yeah, I've heard about things like this, and I said I know a couple of people that have had stenosis, and now I think I understand a little bit more of the process. Dr. Shea, how would you find out about that? How would tell me about how you'd use your radiological tools to be able to determine where there might be that compression or the herniation?
Cross-sectional imaging, special CAT scans, and or MRIs will show the anatomy exquisitely well, so you can see the spinal cord, you can see the spinal canal, and you can see if there's compromise of the spinal canal or pinching of the spinal cord because of soft tissues like discs or hard tissues like bone.
Interesting.
So it's a non-invasive exam where you're laying on a table and you're scanned.
And so, obviously, you know what you're looking for, but for me, I just say it feels like my back is crooked, and I know somebody that's got something like that as well, where she cannot technically stand up straight because her spine seems to have taken a curve someplace. And tell me about that.
That's a condition.
Do you treat it, or
I do treat it. It's a condition called scoliosis. Typically, it happens in adolescence, but however, it can continue into adulthood. And so just like you said, the spine will be curved, and they'll have difficulty straightening their back. Now, sometimes if you have a strain of the muscles from moving heavy boxes, one part of the musculature in the back can contract, and so you'll have a hard time straightening your back. And so you have to be careful to rule out a problem with
Sorry, as I said, I've got to adjust myself because I realized that I'm slouching in the chair.
Bad posture can also have difficulty with straightening of the back. And so you have to be careful to evaluate with x-rays and CT scans to make sure that the problem is not because of bad posture or a strain on one side of the muscle versus a curvature of the actual spine. And then if there's a curvature of the spine, if it's severe, we can go in, remove certain parts of the spine, put screws and rods up and down the spine, and then curve the rod in such a way that it straightens the spine. Now, that's a very long and very complicated surgery, but it is something that can be done.
Sounds like molding a tree to grow in a certain fashion.
That's what you're doing. You're typically breaking the spine and then reforming it into a more straighter curvature as opposed to the bent curvature there is. And so patients that have a lot of back pain, they can either have back pain from bad curvature or from a disc herniation or that stenosis we're talking about, or it can be from simply bad posture and muscular pain.
Are there times where there are issues with the backbone, and along that neurological chain here, where we have effects not just on things like your posture or being able to use your hands or standing up straight or carrying things, but are there other issues that will affect, say, the internal organs, the hearts, lungs, livers, etc.?
Well, imagine that the curvature goes higher up into what we call a thoracic spine, which is in the chest area. Because you're curved in a sort of malformed way, your lungs will not be able to expand normally because of the curvature. And so if the curvature is so exaggerated, it can prevent breathing problems. And so by fixing the curvature, it can get the lungs to work much better. And then you can have also pain that starts in the back and moves down the leg. We call that radicular pain. And that's because of closing off of the nerve that goes into the leg, as opposed to the center nerve. And so you can have pain going down the arm or down the leg because of the nerve that comes off the big nerve and then goes into the arms and legs.
And we'd fix that surgically.
Well, first we would do conservative
Because I was going
management.
to ask the other doctor, is there a way that doesn't require surgery that you might be able to treat that?
I'm a big fan of physical therapy. I think physical therapy, you're changing the muscles, the bone, and the tendons and the cartilage, and you're changing the structure of the body with those sort of focused exercises. And so we almost always would want to see somebody doing physical therapy before we ever send them to a neurosurgeon.
Okay, so the next time I'm running a marathon, I'm going to come and see you and have you put the K-tape on me.
You know,
Are you into that?
I actually don't. I would probably send you to our physical therapist.
Yeah.
They're down the hall from us, third floor of the GRMC. I think we have really great therapists. And so I send people all the time down the hall to.
No, this was for before the race, not after. Because there's different things that you want to do with your muscles in a marathon, and different ways that you kind of want to be able to protect them from oversaturation of the acids, and there's just the repetitive use of you get these marathons where you're running 6 miles and it's all flat, and you get this repetitive motion, and pretty soon your feet get tired and your ankles get tired, and that's what I would hope to avoid with a visit to a physical therapist before the race. After the race, I got codeine and other pills that I can take. 9:52, and fascinating conversation. Your healthcare partner is Guam Regional Medical City, and that's why I just love it when they come in here to have conversations like this. We'll wrap it up probably on the other side of these messages.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and $25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
955 888-8255 Facebook Live. A quick question on genetics and the roles that genetics can play in some of that narrowing of the backbones. What do you think, Doc?
Yes, genetics definitely has a role to play, especially in patients that have what we call Down syndrome. They have a certain genetic defect that makes the ligaments, which are the cables that holds the bones together, very loose and lax. And so those patients are high risk for having stenosis. But for the most part, some patients that have stenosis are what we call developmental. I mean, in that case, they develop it over the years as we use our bodies.
Right.
You know, think about it. Human beings have been walking on 4 legs for a long time. Only recently have we just started walking on 2 legs. And so we're just starting to learn how to do that without having difficulty. And so a lot of these back pains and these neck pains are, you know, growing pains of evolving.
Just that change in the evolution.
I think so.
That's fascinating stuff here. The whole conversation has been fascinating, and I have unfortunately, like many people, have lost members of the family to stroke, and so there's conversations about how to deal with stroke, how to deal with something after it's happened. And I'm told, Dr. Shea, that you have a unique skill, unique in that there is nobody else here on Guam. In fact, we're talking about a bunch of unique. Dr. Yame is the only board-certified neurosurgeon on Guam, according to my paperwork. And you've got the skill and ability, Dr. Shea, to be able to, with wires, go inside the brain and get the strokey parts out.
Yes, so there's 2 types of strokes, but the strokes that we're talking about, you're bringing up, is the ischemic stroke, where you have a blockage of the blood vessels, the arteries going to the brain. And we're able to emergently, because time is brain, access usually the artery in the top of the leg, sometimes from the arm artery, and from that access site, crawl up through the arteries that are all interconnected, get into the neck artery, and then actually crawl up into the brain artery that's blocked, usually with blood clot.
This is
Sometimes
science fiction. How do you do that?
Well, we use X-ray vision to kind of guide our guide wire, our little wire, and then over the wire we kind of shimmy a hollow tube called a catheter.
Right, right.
And then we can get the catheter right where the clot is, and with some devices we can actually remove the clot, restore flow in the blood vessel, reperfuse the brain that's been denied blood, which supplies the oxygen and the glucose to keep the cells alive.
How do you steer it? I mean, at some point, I mean, you come in through the femoral artery down here, right? And it's a long way up to the brain, isn't it? And I'm sure there's some places where it might take a wire.
Correct. I mean, there are branch points. You have to know your anatomy, but you can actually crawl from the top of the leg artery into the brain artery in a matter of several minutes. It's quick.
Yeah, and then so once you're inside, describe that procedure again. You said it, and but I'm still fascinated with the idea of a wire.
So if we can get the wire, then we can get a catheter, a hollow tube to the blocked vessel, and then through the hollow tube we can deliver a device that will allow us to remove the clot and restore flow. My last stroke was a couple nights ago, and it was in a 48-year-old gentleman. So as Dr. Hale mentioned earlier, due to the unique prevalence of certain diseases here that are untreated or not
poorly
recognized,
treated.
poorly treated, we see certain types of the disease processes manifesting at a younger age.
We were talking about that as well, and it's.
In fact, I had a patient a year ago.
Diet and exercise, guys.
Right. I had a patient probably 10 months ago who was 35 weeks pregnant, and I think she was 28 or 30 years old and had a stroke. So strokes can occur at any age. They typically thought they're older folks, but they can occur much younger.
And one of these days we'll get into the conversation about certain things that happen to older folks, Alzheimer's and things like that might be associated, and what we're learning about that today. We're unfortunately out of time. Your healthcare partners, GRMC and The Point Radio 93.3. It's just been a pleasure talking with these guys, as it always is, and hope you had a good time listening to it as well. If you're interested and want to make appointments to see Dr. Hale, Dr. Shea, or Dr. Yame at the Neuro and Neuroscience Department, contact GRMC 645-5500. Friend them, like them on Facebook. You'll get a note later on that says that the gubernatorial forum is on about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and hear what the doctors are going to be asking the gubernatorial candidates about their ideas about health care and systems of care on Guam. Maybe that'll help prevent a stroke in your family. The radio station is KUSG Agana. It's time for Fox News Live.
The defense rests Yes, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The final phase of the corruption trial against President Trump's former campaign manager gets underway tomorrow after his defense called no witnesses.
Paul Manafort chose not to testify. His lead attorney, Kevin Downing, made a brief statement to reporters.
We live in the United States of America, and you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. We believe the government cannot meet that burden. We are very confident.
In the ninth floor courtroom, Judge T.S. Ellis reminded the jury that Manafort, who faces bank and tax fraud charges with a maximum sentence of 305 years, is under no obligation to mount a defense. Closing arguments will begin Wednesday morning with the judge directing the prosecution and defense to take no more than 2 hours each. The judge has allotted 90 minutes for his separate jury instructions.
Fox's Catherine Herridge outside the courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia. The White House on the defensive after former aide Omarosa Manigault Newman accused President Trump of making racist comments.
I think the greatest concern we have is the lack of integrity that this individual has shown.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, who says President Trump's tweets calling Omarosa a dog and a lowlife are not racist. The Trump's campaign has filed an arbitration claim against her, arguing that Omarosa violated a non-disclosure agreement she signed when she joined the campaign. Bishop David Zubik with the Diocese of Pittsburgh denying a scathing report by a Pennsylvania grand jury that claims hundreds of priests sexually abused at least 1,000 children over a period of several decades. And he says there was no cover-up.
We have, over the course of the last 30 years for sure, been transparent about everything that has in fact been transpiring. So I think that point needs to be made.
The grand jury faults Cardinal Donald Wuerl, the former Archbishop of Pittsburgh, for his handling of abusive priests. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury.